Let's go.
Let's
see.
go.
Okay,
Let's
Twix is
do
cut off.
this.
Let me fix this a
Per
little bit.
per usual.
Per
How come
usual.
your camera's not?
Oh, I don't show my camera because I don't know.
Oh,
I
because
change.
you have to show your thing.
Yeah, because it looks cleaner. Like I don't know. Like for some reason, Discord does mess up a bit of the quality, so that's why I like to show like mine on stream. You're like you bitches. Let me see.
Wow.
You know what, Square?
I can
My
see myself.
my camera doesn't look as bad today.
It doesn't.
Oh
Well, it's
my
because I made
god.
it bigger. That's why. I don't know.
Mm.
Let me
I
see.
think it's because I'm not using Snap camera.
Not the snap camera. There
Not
we
the
go.
Snap camera.
All right. There we go. Oh my god, Karen, you're the biggest on here. Let's go. So, what's up, y'all? Happy Wednesday. I'm dead. Uh,
Okay, I'm good.
happy Wednesday, everyone. What's up? How's everyone doing? We're back with another episode of the Slimthicccpodcast. We got Slim, Slim, and then me, Thick, and then our special guest, Karen. Last week, Karen, we asked my friend Tommy Yoza, hey, dude, like, if you, um, how would, like, you want to introduce yourself, but I don't know, I feel like a lot of people hate that question, and I think we might have talked about it off stream, like, I might have asked you like, oh, you want to introduce yourself or whatever. But I don't know if you also don't like that question either. So if you want to
I
introduce
mean, I'm okay.
yourself, and
Yeah, I'll
also,
introduce myself.
yeah, go for it.
Is my camera lagging at all?
No, you look good. 2 thumbs up.
Okay, cool. My name is Karen. Last name Inthinavong. I am a graphic designer and illustrator up here in Portland, Oregon. I'm originally from the Bay Area, and this will be my 5th year here. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Nice. Your 5th year in Oregon.
Yes.
Okay, but you've always lived in Oregon.
I said I was from the Bay Area.
It's from the Bay. Come on.
No, I mean
bro.
like you said your 5th year here, you nerd. Like your 5th year. Yeah. Yeah, well, come on,
my
nerd.
5th year in Portland. Dude,
Yeah.
I don't do math. That was the one gene I didn't inherit.
Oh, damn. Well, I suck at math too, so twinning. But yeah.
Oh my god.
So cool. Well, Karen and Inthinavong, y'all get that right? All right, make sure to pronounce that shit right.
Spell it right.
Yeah, spell it right and pronounce it right. Because we're correcting
Don't be
people.
intimidated just because it's so long.
Yeah, facts.
That's what he said.
We're correcting people out here when they get our names wrong. You know what I'm saying? Huh, Karen?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
how was everyone's week? How was everyone's weekend? Anything cool happen? Anything interesting happen to y'all? Or
No. I mean, besides my hectic day today. But other than that,
Oh
nothing too bad.
what about you, Karen? Anything? You told me something about your day, but
What did I do today? Oh yeah, I had a meeting and then I just hung out at a coffee shop with some friends. I had to decompress a little bit, but not too bad. Not too bad. I had a nice cookie, so no complaints.
What kind of cookie? Like,
apparently it was called the cowboy cookie. It had coconut flakes, walnuts, chocolate chip, and I think oats.
that sounds fire. You gotta bring someone you come to California. Remember your old friend Square? You're like, now they're gonna be gone.
Okay. No, I forget the little people.
Oh, I'm not little. I'm big.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'm the little one.
Nah, but that's cool. I'm glad you decompress and stuff. It's always important to decompress after a long day. I feel like some of us don't be doing that. For me, it was one of those mental health days or weeks, I guess. Been down bad this week, but I've been watching K-dramas. Or a K-drama. It's called Our Beloved Summer. I'm a big K-drama fan. If y'all don't know, so yeah, I was watching K-dramas today. I kind of took a day, a mental health day today, but yeah, was really excited for today. Karen and I were friends. We know each other. We've actually never met in real life, but
Yeah.
it's kind of funny. We know, like, we know the same circle of friends and everything, but we've actually never met in real life. We met through like social media and stuff, and it's been pretty interesting getting to know Karen because, I've like, I don't want to say firsthand because I haven't actually seen it with my eyes, but I've seen like what Karen has done to like get where she's at and stuff. So it's been an awesome journey, and I don't know. I'm super excited, like, to hear about like all the stuff that you've been doing and about all the things you have planned for the future and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's pretty funny. We've never met, but I feel like her and I were super cool. I respect her hustle. I respect her grind, and yeah, want to tell us more about like what you've been doing lately, like in your like at your job or for yourself. I know you do a lot of stuff. You do stuff like, you work at Nike. What do you do at Nike?
I'm an image editor at Nike. So what you see on Nike.com as far as like NBA, WNBA and stuff goes, all the jerseys and shirts and stuff that you see online, those are all photorealistic graphics that my team gets to make.
Oh, okay. So it's not like.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
So like when you see a shirt or a jersey that's on the website or any website that carries our product, those we work on those photos that have the models that have the apparel on them. So we're retouching them. We actually use 3D graphics for those and work with the photo studio down in LA. I have photos of the models so that we can use those models that have the apparel on. I don't know if that makes sense. It's really hard to understand. It took me a couple of weeks to even understand what I do. And it's hard to understand it without like seeing the whole process, but obviously I can't show you that.
I totally get what you're saying. It's like, when you don't know, like, explaining it to someone that knows like the jargon, it's like, okay, it's easy, but explaining it to like a normal person that doesn't like work with that, it's kind of difficult. It's like when I tell people I stream on Twitch, but other people that don't stream on Twitch, they just kind of like, they're like, what do you do on Twitch? What is it? Is it only gaming? But it's like, no, it's more than gaming. Like, we're here doing a podcast, so I totally get it. But yeah, what do you like? Like, what's your most memorable project that you worked on, or can you tell us like a funny story or anything that's happened there?
So I started in May, and I'm actually a contracted worker. So Nike is one of my agency's clients, but I do work with Nike, their products and stuff.
Yeah.
But I got hired in May, and my contract ends this coming May. And honestly, I feel like I've done so much that everything's just a blur. And honestly, probably the things that I've done outside of my role are probably a little bit more memorable. What I do is pretty much like robotic production work. I'm just like the hamster on the wheel that does like the same thing, clicking around things every day. But because we're not working on campus, we have to utilize Slack to communicate with everybody. And honestly, it's been really fun. Like, and like a few of our channels, and a lot of them are, fellow sneakerheads. And so that's always fun to engage in because it's cool to work at a company that you grew up on loving just for like either if you were either in sport or if you like sneakers. This is my cat. He'll probably jump on my lap a bunch. But I've been able to do a couple really fun projects just because I've utilized all the resources I have in terms of like posting my fun art around. So I've been able to pick up some really cool graphic design projects to help some teams out with like t-shirt graphics or stickers and stuff like that. So it's really cool. I can't say much, but it's a good general overview of it.
No, honestly, that's, yeah. You can't say much. I get it, but like, yeah, it's cool, like I said, I know you, and I've known like how hard you've grinded to like get to where you are and stuff. So I don't know, how does it feel like working for your dream company? I know, like, for you to say like it's just kind of a straightforward process and stuff where you just click stuff, but still, like, you must be proud of like working at like your dream company. For me,
Yeah.
I worked in tech. I worked at a company called Western Digital. I was a product marketing manager, and for me, even that job, like, I was proud to have, because I come from like a very small town, and I think that whenever I would tell my parents like, oh, look, check this out, I would work on this products, they would always be like, oh my god, like, give me one. They would, like, my parents work in ag, so they would be talking to the people in the fields and be like, oh, look, my son worked on this. So I'm sure, like, same thing for you, your family, your friends, everyone's like, oh, what, Karen at the swoosh, what,
Oh my god. I mean, hopefully one day I could actually be able to make something that I can show off.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything I do, I don't make. I take the stuff that people already make and tweak those around. So, but other than that, I mean, I really like my job. I love my team. It's really cool to like actually get inside, and I feel like even to this day, I still sit here when I start my day, and I'm like, oh shit, like, I look at my Outlook and I'm like, oh my God, my name has @Nike.com next to it. Like, that's crazy, because I've been trying to get in for so long, and I've worked so hard to get here that I still experience like the first day of work feels when I was like really excited, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm here, and this is really cool. So yeah, it's really exciting to be able to work for my dream company in a way. Eventually, I would love to be full time, so that's what I'm shooting for next. Like, I know that what I do now isn't something that I want to do long term as a production artist. I would like to be the brains behind actually creating T-shirt graphics, like for SB or for lifestyle. Like, those would be really cool, and actually be able to like take what I do for fun for my art, like with my sneaker drawings and stuff, and actually put them on a t-shirt that this company is going to sell, and to be able to like see it in stores or see it on a mannequin, see it in like an ad or something like that, would completely blow my mind.
Yeah, honestly, and I think you'll definitely get there. Like I said, your work ethic is pretty. You have a great work ethic, and your
Thank you.
art. I feel like, I don't know. It's definitely you're so versatile. You can do so many different things. For people that aren't familiar with your art, like here, you guys could check out Karen's links. Let's see, and then y'all can see exactly like what Karen's talking about. I'm actually gonna be what Karen does. I mean, I'm gonna post your resume, if that's okay, in the chat. The one, like the colorful one you did, because we talked about this, and I think it's awesome. It was like definitely like super creative, super different. A lot of people, they just kind of traditional shit, like just the two liners, the dates and all that, and then on the right side they have like the what they've done. But you really, I feel like, when I saw this resume, it was definitely like a breath of fresh air, super different, super creative. It was and I feel like a lot of people don't be thinking outside the box. They're just like, hey, let me just send this, and I think sometimes what sucks about like resumes and stuff like that, and just in general, people, they use those what do you call them, that software that scans resumes. I forgot what it's called. It's like
Oh, I know what you mean.
you know what I mean? They use that software.
I forgot the acronyms for that, but
yeah, and it's like
yeah,
you can't
I know what
use.
you mean.
It sucks that you can't use something like this, because I feel like this showcases like your effort and your journey. Because usually everyone just has like lines, or they have a couple pictures, but even the pictures will mess up the thing or whatever. But yeah, I really like what you did with this resume, and I kind of like talking about LinkedIn. I really want to talk about how you utilize it. I think I saw you tweet something the other day saying that, hey, it's crazy, I get like more interaction on LinkedIn than I do on my socials. And I think a lot of people don't use LinkedIn, and it's crazy because LinkedIn, you actually get like, you get to talk to the people like at the top, like you get to talk to people from the company, So do you want to tell us more about like using LinkedIn to like market yourself, market your brand and stuff like that?
So at this, so my actual journey of trying to get into Nike started off like the very beginning of the pandemic. Um, and I knew that like LinkedIn was going to be something that I would have to utilize. So I got really good at it in terms of like just connecting with everybody at the company, um, or at least people that were in the roles that I want to get. Um, and I just shot off a bunch of messages to people and was like, "Hey, like I'm interested in your job. Is there any way we can chat? Like whether it's like just through messaging or a video call." And and at that moment was when I was very and when the pandemic happened, honestly, I was like, "What am I gonna do with my time? I don't bake." Um, and I'm not going to be. And at this time, I was working at New Seasons Market, right next to campus, and I was like, I need to do something else with my time. Like the gym's closed. What am I going to do? So I was like, okay, this is the time that I really need to take advantage of and really get my butt into gear, in terms of networking, talking to people, putting myself out there. So that's when I really started to put out illustrations of things that I really enjoyed, which was sneakers. And LinkedIn, I honestly owe this to my good friend Jess Forg. Shout out to Jess. She is a master of networking and talking to people, and she really taught me a lot about just like gaining the confidence in putting myself out there and talking to people. And like the advice that I would get from not just her but other people was you should, and these people on LinkedIn, like you have the luxury of looking at people's rosters and seeing what kinds of employees are there and just say hi and like, you let yourself shine. You have this opportunity to really show them who you are, and it's a good way to like either keep your name in someone's back pocket or you like completely woo them and they're like, oh shoot, like I want you to work for us. So once I started gaining traction in terms of like having a group of people that were like, oh shoot, I really like your story, I like what you want to do, I really like your art, let's keep talking, let's try to figure out how to get you in, I was like, oh my gosh, like this actually works. And I don't know, when I had LinkedIn in college and like before this pandemic, I was like, oh, LinkedIn's intimidating. It's just people that want to like, they just want to look for work. It's not that exciting. But like I post my artwork there. I post thoughts. I don't know, like I try to be inspiring. But like I try to keep it in a professional way too. And I also really like using it to like give like the company I work for shout outs. Like if something happens during a meeting or something, because there's like I'm connected with a huge network of people that work at Nike there. And it's another way for me to reach out to that audience that I have and be like, oh, thank you to this person that, for example, the other day we had a meeting and somebody that was in the diversity, oh, what is it? Diversity
And inclusion.
and yeah, that one. What are the freaking acronyms? But
DNI.
anyways, yes, the DNI person. She came on and she stated her pronouns. She really catered and was very inclusive to those that can't see. And you never know who's in these huge meetings of like 200 plus people that don't have the luxury of looking at the camera and knowing what everybody looks like, right? And I thought that was completely powerful and very inspiring, and something that we should also be mindful of. So I gave them a shout out on LinkedIn, and I was able to connect to a couple people over messaging about it and starting conversation, and now they know like what I want to do and what role I want to get into next and are keeping me in mind for whatever they hear about. So it's little things like that that can really impact the type of connections you make and what you can do with the rest of your life, or maybe not the rest of your life, but the next move you want to make. So I completely believe in the power of LinkedIn. If you have it, use it to your advantage. It is a great resource. It's not only a great resource for connecting with people, but to even like learn. There's like different modules or whatever to learn different things to like step up your skills in different programs and stuff. So that's really cool. But
LinkedIn
yeah,
Learning, right? I think it's
LinkedIn
called.
Learning, yeah,
Yeah,
it's super helpful, and people really do pay attention to your profile. Um, and so once I started noticing that, that's why I would post my artwork there. That's why I post my resume, my one pager. And for me, I'm like, I very much believe in using all my resources. I post it everywhere. If I want help, I'm going to ask for it, because before I wouldn't ask for it. And now I know, like, oh shoot, the power of social media. Not only that, but LinkedIn, if I want to find a job, I'm going to use it. So I will tell people like, oh, I'm looking for a position. I've done that multiple times. Or I've asked questions to like try to help friends. So I'm completely behind posting your resume, posting your one pager, getting people's feedback, unless it's unsolicited. Um,
you're talking
but
about like
yeah,
people shooting their shots like through LinkedIn and being like weirdos,
people
right?
people picking apart and giving me advice on my resume. Not
Yeah,
nice.
like I feel like advice should be, if it's asked for kind of thing, like
Exactly.
I wouldn't just comment on someone's like post or something. I don't know what you're referring to, but like if someone were to just give me advice and just be
Mhm.
like constructive about something, I'd be like, hey, like DM me about this, or I don't know. I didn't ask for advice. Sometimes people just like to criticize people and tear each other down and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I think like that's kind of sometimes when you post things, people, it's kind of like you're putting yourself out there, and more that it's like a
Mhm.
double-edged sword. You're putting yourself out there for people to kind of criticize you, and just in general, just they could be positive or negative, but hopefully
Yeah.
they're more positive than negative. But so basically, like the gist of it is to shoot your shot on LinkedIn,
Do.
not and
Yes.
don't hit on people on LinkedIn. Like shoot your shot towards jobs, and
Yeah.
if you want to hit on people, go to Tinder, Bumble, Grinder, whatever else there is. Just don't do it on
But it's
LinkedIn. Not
true.
LinkedIn.
Yes. Like, I want this freaking job. I'm going to shoot my shot there. And it works. It freaking works.
So
So,
honestly, LinkedIn is probably one of the biggest sites where you can go into someone's DMs, but it's like professional, huh? So you're like, yo, what's up? Like, what's up with this job kind of thing?
in a more professional
I
way, but
mean,
yeah.
probably more professional than, hey, what's up?
Of course, and you're right, Karen. Like that's facts, about LinkedIn. You definitely
Hmm.
meet a lot of cool people. We're on Twitch right now, and I don't think she's here, but my friend Annoyed Princess, her name's Rachel. She streams on Twitch. We met through LinkedIn because I saw her post. It says something about, oh, my MBA. Does anyone have any advice or anything? And I was like wrapping up my MBA, so I commented on her post or DM'd her. Yeah, I commented on her post and I was like, hey, I'm just finishing up the program. If you want to talk more about it, like let me know. And then she was like, yeah, DM me, or I don't remember what happened, but we became like really good friends, and she also taught me a lot about streaming. So shouts out to her. And yeah, I think definitely you make like really great connections through there.
Hmm.
But yeah, so if y'all are hearing in the comments, shoot your shot on LinkedIn, post on LinkedIn. It's a valuable tool. You definitely have
Hmm.
some Mexican Snorlax said that they're making a LinkedIn profile that says LinkedIn lover on it. But yeah, and also the
Why
tools,
not?
they have LinkedIn learning on there. So, if y'all are looking to like, get more like gain more hard skills or soft skills, LinkedIn. But yeah, do
Hmm.
you want to tell us more about like your journey and stuff? Like, how you came to be here, where you're at, like
Sure.
what you did. Or Tweaks, do you have any questions that you want to ask? Or
No, that's yeah, I'm good right now. I mean, how did you first like think of and like want to start like being a designer and editor
Yeah, no
Was it
problem.
something that you like thought you wanted to do growing up, or it's something that you discovered? Like,
Yeah, so I had no idea. Like growing up, I was very like, I'm a first generation Asian American. My parents immigrated here from Laos in the late 80s with their families and friends. And growing up, I always was just like, oh, I want to be a nurse because that's what every other Asian girl did.
the stereotypical
And
Asian girl
yeah, the
thing?
stereotypical thing. But mind you, my parents are not those like strict Asian parents. Like they didn't put that on me. It was just like what I grew up around in terms of like my parents' friends that had daughters that were in college, that's what they went to do. Or like people
Yeah.
at the temple, usually it was like the daughter or like some sons that became doctors and nurses, and their parents would brag about them, and I'm like, I'm gonna show them what's up. So I went to San Francisco State with the intentions of applying for the nursing program.
Mhm.
um, Spent my freshman year as a pre-nursing major. Did not make it to chemistry at 8 a.m. ever. So I was like, I have to reevaluate my life. Um, Unfortunately, but also something that saved my sanity was my freshman year. I got a back injury, so I have a herniated disc in my lower back. Um, Really stupid freak accident. I was holding my little cousin who was like a baby, like 1 year old, right? And we were on the trampoline, and I was just bouncing up and down. My feet never left the actual trampoline. Like I didn't jump, but because I had the extra weight on my hip and because I'm like 5'1", it just impacted my lower lumbar that way. Um, and so because of that, I really wanted to learn like what the heck is going on, but also like my parents are also hard workers and they have back aches and like go through back pain, and like so does everybody else, right? So
Yeah.
I really wanted to like figure out how to, you know, solve that kind of problem and educate other people. So I switched over to kinesiology. And for
Mhm.
those who don't know, kinesiology is like exercise and movement sciences. And at that time, like especially like the friends I had, like the first thing was, oh, you have a kinesiology degree, you go to physical therapy school. And
Mhm.
it sounds cool. Like it was something I cared about, that I really cared about, because I'm coming from like a personal place of like experiencing an injury firsthand, and I've gone through physical therapy, I've gone through chiropractic care, all these other things, and it was something that I really cared about because not only was I able to rehabilitate to a good place, um, I really wanted to help other people feel the same
Mhm.
way. So so like the rest of my college career and like a couple years outside of college, still finishing my prerequisites, I was very sold on like by the time I'm 28, I'm going to have a white coat. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to make baller money. I'm going to be in so much debt, but I'm going to be a doctor, right? And I'm going to
Yeah.
help people, obviously. But I got rejected from San Diego State. The first time I applied, it was just to like, kind of gauge where I was at. Um, and then the second time was because a doctor didn't send in a letter of recommendation on time.
Oh my god.
And
Damn.
yeah, he literally had one job, but whatever. So my mom, okay, wait. I'm gonna backtrack because it's really important. This part's really important for me. But in 2016, I fell into like a really deep dark hole with myself. I was still trying to apply for San Diego State's physical therapy program. I was busting my ass trying to get really good grades in whatever classes I had left, and also study for the freaking GRE, which is a nightmare. And it was one of those things where I was like, I don't feel like I'm in a good place with my score. I'm going to take it again, take it again, take it again. $600 later, you know, I'm finally like, okay, I'm going to submit these scores. Um, but because I was also like depressed, I decided early in the year, like I cannot work. Like, I'm not in the right headspace to be around people and also just work. I was like, I really need to focus on this one thing. And for me, like in college, my parents never pushed me and my sister, who's in college now, like they never pushed us to work while we were in school because they want us to focus on education, right? Um, and so I took the year off. I didn't work. I went to therapy every week. I worked on myself, had a little self-discovery phase, and during that time, if I wasn't in school or studying, I started hand lettering. I learned calligraphy because I wanted to, without taking karate, I wanted to learn patience, determination, and all those other things. And it was really cool because I also like was always obsessed with copying people's handwriting in school, like ever since I was little. So I was like, okay, well, this is going to be like the next hobby I take up. Once I got good at it, I started making stuff for friends or like random people at my gym that I went to or doing the chalk signs there. And my mom was like, and then fast forward to fall, my mom was like, "Oh, you're making this cool art and designing these things for people. People are paying for you. Why don't you just go to school for that?" I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" My Asian mother, immigrant mother, that has never pressured me to do anything. I would have never thought of going to art school. Did not consider at all an undergrad. But I always knew I was good at like art and design because, you know, back in MySpace days, I was really good at HTML and making backgrounds and stuff. Not to toot my own horn, but I mean, I always knew that I had the skills. Um, Once my mom said that, I was like, oh shit, I switched gears really fast. In And by that time, I had visited Portland once. I kind of knew the lay of the land. I really fell in love with Portland, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna look for an art school in Portland and move up there. And I did. So in a span of 1 month, I was able to get my application approved, my portfolio in. Between getting approved or accepted into my program here, it was like a week before, between the acceptance and classes starting, it was like a week or a week and a half.
Oh,
So I had that time to look for an apartment over the internet, look for an apartment to pack, figure out what I'm gonna pack. I moved up with 2 large suitcases, purchased everything else that I needed up here, found a really cruddy studio, and I started school like in 2 or 3 days.
Jesus. So you moved
Yeah,
up
it
there,
was.
just kind of like took a risk type shit. Like you just were like,
Yeah,
hey,
I was 2016. I was on such a high. Once I got into therapy, it was over for the hose. I was like, dude, I know what I'm doing with my life. I'm gonna move. I want to go to some place where I don't know anybody because I'm going to continue this journey, and I also want to get out of my comfort zone, which is my parents' house. And I remember legitimately telling my parents, like, trying to convince them to let me come up. I was like, you've never had to let me struggle. You kind of need to let me go, and it worked. Because like I've the parents that I have, I'm very grateful and fortunate to have them in my life for sure. But I was like, I'm ready to grow up a little bit more at the age of 26, 27 or whatever. And so I moved up here and I didn't know anybody. And it's been 5 years.
that's awesome,
Yeah.
and it paid off. Look where you're at now.
And it paid off.
And
And it paid off.
so basically, like from your story, people could get is that we should basically try different things, or what do you think?
I think I think the whole thing is like, just because you study one, this is actually what grinds my gears. Just because I studied one thing in college, I really hate the comment of like, oh, so you're not using your degree. Or like, I've been there myself in my own head. Like, I feel really bad that I'm not using my degree. but it took me a really long time and a lot of help to realize, like, oh shoot, no, I am using my degree. Like, everything that I learned in those years, wherever I was, like, all those skills has helped shape me into the person I am today. And I don't know how else I could get the job I want or connect with the people that I need to connect to without, like, the personality I developed or having the skills that I've learned from kinesiology in college. Um, like, everything I learned in school from, learning how to presentations or research and data analysis or, all those other things, and like being able to look at things in great detail. Like, those are things you can transfer over to being a graphic designer. And the program that I was in, well, I'm technically done now. It was supposed to be like a 2-year program. It's continuing education, so it's made for people that are already in the industry or already have day jobs and they want to take classes, 3-hour classes later in the evening. And being in those classes has definitely helped out because I've met a lot of great people. One of my mentors was an instructor at the school, and I met a lot of people that worked at Nike too, and that was also a great way for me to network.
No, I agree about the whole school thing. To be honest with you, like, you know, kind of, you and I are kind of the same, you know. Well, we're not the same, but because you're cooler. No. For me, I started going to like, me. I love listening to people. I love talking to people. I feel like I'm always there for my friends when they need a vent or whatever. And I think when I first graduated from like high school, I was like, oh shit, like let me, I think I'm gonna be a psychologist. I want to help people. Like, I'm a good listener. I want to be like a therapist or a psychologist or something. I want to like help. And then I guess as time progressed, I was just kind of like, damn, am I really trying to listen to people's problems for a job? Like, I felt like I was kind of conflicted, and I was like, I don't know, this is what I want to do. Took a little break. Then I went to school. I started booking like shows. You and I, like, Tweaks also likes the same kind of music. I started booking shows, and then I was like, one of my friends was like, dude, you should go to school for marketing. You're like really good at it. And then I was like, I looked into it and I was like, damn, this is literally like what I do. I should. So I started going to school for business, and then I did marketing. And even though I'm gonna be honest, like what I learned in school, I felt like it was super outdated, like in terms of marketing today. Even though I feel like I didn't get as much in terms of knowledge, I did get a lot in terms of connections, in terms of like, working with people, working like looking for jobs, stuff like that. It really did help me in certain ways. Like a lot of the people that I went to college with, I'm still friends with, and a lot of the people that are my connections, they're all people like I met through because of school. So I definitely agree. Like, even like how you say, people are like, oh, why aren't you using your degree? You're using something. Like this podcast right here, Slimthicccpodcast. Tweaks and I worked together to come up with a branding, and I was like, dude, like, this kind of stuff's important to me. I really like, I want something that's gonna stick and something that's gonna be fun. And I think just like you with your what's the name of your brand, or is the Instagram, what would you call it?
Oh, my Instagram is, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, that's like your thing. So it's like, it's different when you're working on something that, like on something for a company, than you're working on yourself, So I feel like everything applies eventually, you're going to use something eventually. So I feel that 100.
People just try to put people in boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
and
like, yeah, it's especially, it happens a lot in school. Like, they see, oh, you got this degree, so you only know about this thing. So, and that's the one thing I don't like about it, like the stigma behind school and like going and getting a degree in one certain thing. Because it's like, people look at you and they look at your degree, they're like, oh, okay, like you only know about this, like your degree in psychology. Oh, okay, so
Or they see that you don't have that piece of paper, and then they're quick to judge, like, oh,
Yeah.
you're not worthy enough to obtain like this kind of higher job that
Yeah.
would call for a piece of paper. But a piece of paper is not everything. And I had a chance to talk to a class of middle schoolers earlier in January for my friend's class, and one of the things I really just wanted to get out to the kids, they're seventh graders, so obviously they're probably not thinking about college. I would hope not. But they know they're going to have to eventually, right? And they probably get asked, like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up, right? Like, we probably got asked that a lot. What I was trying to tell them, and I was being as I'm an open book. I was being transparent. I even told them, like, I was depressed once. Like, it's something that happens in life at any age, and it's it just makes you more human. But anyways, one of the things I wanted to instill was, like, you can go to school, you can study something, but you don't necessarily have to, like, stick with it for the rest of your life. Like, obvious, like, I showed them my one pager for my little Swooshland one pager, and I showed them, I was like, look, I did this for this chunk of time, but see how, like, I veer off the path and get into something totally different. And that's kind of like the road that I chose and where I've ended up now. And I think my friend was like, yeah, they really like that. Even though you went to school for one thing, like, sometimes life calls for other things. Sometimes things happen where you just keep growing every day and your mind shifts a little bit. So, and I love talking to kids, or just, like, I don't mean to sound like a creep, but I just like kids. Like, I really believe they're like, I really believe they're our future, and I think they have the potential to make the world a better place later on. And I think I think our generation is the one that is, like, bridging that gap between the older generation and what's going to happen in the future, right? And if we want a better world, like, I honestly think the kids that are, like, high school and middle school right now, I feel like they have the potential to do that. So if we can, like, make their lives a little bit easier and show them, like, hey, like, shit's gonna happen, be agile, this is what could happen, like, show them what's up, motivate them, inspire them, teach them, lead them, because they're gonna need it. They're gonna need it for sure in this world that we're in. Yeah, like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like for our generation, it's never too late, but if we can influence people that are coming into the corporate world, coming into, like, this real life stuff, at their young age, I feel like that could make things a little bit better. But that's just me.
I agree. I mean, and I also first of all, that's cool that you, like, pay it forward, and you try to mentor the youth. I did that once, like, but I remember I spoke to my friend's class and stuff, and I kind of just told him, like, hey, work hard, play hard type shit, But I hate that question, like, what do you want to do in life? Because I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't care who it is. Like, there's a lot of people, like, I feel like there's no person that 100% is certain that they're doing what they want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It depends what people are driven by. People are driven by money, by fulfillment at work, like, by working on meaningful things. And I think it depends on what makes you happy, I think this dumbest question, why should we hire you, or why do you want this job at interviews? I want money, bro. I want to freaking
live.
I want to live, I'm trying to get a paycheck, like,
Yeah.
sometimes you apply for companies and they ask you that question, and I'm just kind of like, bro, like, I'm trying to get paid, like, I don't want to freaking, like, why do you want to work here? Sometimes you'll get asked that question, like, at these, like, jobs that aren't even, like, that interesting. It's just, people are struggling. They're trying to get hired at certain places, and you're basically being asked to sell yourself. I think, like, definitely questions like that. I don't know. It's like, we talked about this in my MBA program, how certain people need to how certain questions is just like you're selling yourself. You just got to do good in the interview and then you'll get hired. But like the person that you were in the interview isn't necessarily the person you will be at work.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I'm a hard worker. I'm punctual. Shows up late like Thursday.
You can Google those answers and memorize them. That's
That's
how
Yeah,
people get
fact.
hired.
I
But also, like, the other thing is like the way that you also answer, like, why do you want to work here, is
Mm,
also your biggest weapon. Like
yeah.
you can, like, if you're not bored and jaded and have like a pessimistic outlook on life,
Mm.
you could be like, why do I want to work here? Well, I'm going to solve your freaking problems. I'm going to turn your work culture in a better place. And hopefully, being a woman of color, like,
Mm.
I'm going to represent and make your company look good.
Yeah.
And I want a discount.
Speaking of that, do you get any sort of like perks working with Nike, or is it like
Not really. Well, okay, because I'm a contract worker, I really don't get a lot of the perks that full-timers get.
yeah?
But I mean, I'm not complaining about what I get. Like, I get a decent discount at the employee store. I get a pass to it every month, which is really cool. I'm very lucky to have that. And I honestly, like, really the thing that is wanting me to stay there is the people. Like, we have a great culture. There's a lot of different people. There's like the same kind of people in terms of like that drive and being in that like athlete mindset. We are all like, I feel like a lot of us are on the same page. And the fact that Bill Knight created the campus to make it like an actual college campus vibe is really cool. Like, I really like that. I haven't been able to work on campus yet, but I really do like it. But it's really the culture that really sold it for me. Even just like before I got my role, just walking on campus with a friend that was showing me around, I was like, I really feel it. The amount of people that were very friendly and said hi and were like, "Oh shoot, like you sound like you belong here." I was like, "Oh shoot, yeah, hire me." Um, yeah, I don't get a lot of the perks yet, but I hope soon, and then I'll let you know.
Hey, that getting an invite to the employee store, that's enough. I feel like
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
it
exactly. Like, that's
that
good enough
employee,
for me.
from what I've heard
Yeah.
about the employee store, it's like you, it's just a bunch of different like super like discounted items, and like Nike Lab, this is usually super expensive, like half off. And I'm like, dude, I'd be happy with that. Like any sneakers are half off. I'm
Pretty
about to grab
cool.
me like 10 at a time, you know?
I,
It's
I'm
pretty cool.
I'm
But
just I'm just laughing because like I remember I went to Oregon once and well Adidas is I don't know if they're based out of there but they have like an
mhm.
employee store too. And I
Yeah, they
remember
do.
we were outside of the employee store, and then we found out, oh, that you need like someone with a card to get in or something, you
Hmm.
know. So we were out. Me and like my friends were outside, and I kept saying like, "This is like freaking 3 years ago." People would pass by, and like before they would walk in, I'd be like, "Oh man, I wish someone would help us get in. Oh, I don't have a
Oh my
card."
gosh.
Damn. I said that I was like, oh, like when people would pass by, wow, damn, I wish someone would let us in the Adidas store. I really want to go in there. And then people looked at me and they laughed. Like I could tell, like one of them was gonna be like, damn, should I let this fool in or what? But
Oh my
yeah, I don't
gosh.
know. It just kind of reminded me of that. But yeah, I just thought it was hella funny because, yeah, looking in there, I think the Adidas store was like hella floors long. And I'm gonna just say I'm a swoosh person, so for me, I don't know. I'd rather go into the Nike one, but yeah. So, yeah, it was just funny. Like I was hella trying to get in there, didn't work, but whatever. Got to shoot your shot. But no, yeah, I have no doubt that you'll get there. You put in the work. You're always like putting yourself out there.
Yeah, it
Like
never stops.
it really doesn't. You
It
always got to keep
never
grinding.
stops. You do, you really do. And, you know, like this week, I definitely got into that rut where I was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I fighting so hard during a freaking pandemic where
Mm-hmm.
everybody's like miserable and not living our best lives, but then there's also like the others, and also like tomorrow's not guaranteed, because what if another variant comes and like just wipes us all out? Why am I working so hard? And I was talking to one of my best friends about it, and just kind of like telling her how I was feeling, just being overwhelmed about everything. But then there's the other side of that, like why why am I doing all of this? And it all just like motivates me even more to like push hard and fight for what I want. And I'm freaking tired, and like, you know, that saying of like just keep swimming, and I'm like, dude, first off, I don't even know how to swim, but I'm freaking I'm tired of mentally swimming. I straight up told her, I was like, I'm tired of swimming and fighting so hard, but I also can like smell that finish line and know that I'll get there based off of like the momentum that I've been going, and like just being able to be connected with the people that I'm connected to, all the informationals that I get, all of the I like this one girl approached me, and her directors know me because of my artwork, because I freaking post it everywhere, and also because I'm like very engaging on like a couple of our Slack channels. But I was like, okay, I got to remember all of this to like remind myself like not to give up. And also like I'm not a freaking quitter, so I'm not going to, but it really does never stop. Like even from day one of starting my contract, I was like, I'm going to chill out for a bit, not network, not push, like, you know, trying to get after that next thing. I really wanted to take in the culture and know the people, but it doesn't stop. It really doesn't. And I was still networking the heck out of myself every freaking day. And even if I get, when I get my next full-time job as a black badge, which is my white coat that I never got, then I feel like still won't stop, because there's always something better, right? That you even if I get in as like the lowest tier of a graphic designer, there's the next tier and the next tier and then senior, right? So, and I'm like, well, I don't want to settle for like the lowest tier of a designer. I don't want to be a graphic design assistant forever. Like I want to make that money. I want my six figures. I want to be well known for what I do and do a good job at it, and also help make these changes to a more positive work environment and culture, and help make differences in lives, and like help be the brains behind certain aspects of Nike. So it never stops. So you just never sleep.
Keep it pushing, basically. You know, that's
The
what you're
grind
trying.
don't stop.
And yeah, and
Don't settle.
you don't stop pushing until you retire.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Who says you're retiring? Maybe you can.
I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe
you'll go
I
until you
won't
die.
retire. Maybe I don't retire. Maybe I die before then, not to be morbid, but who freaking knows?
But hey, you gotta make the most of it, like you have. You know, you made the most of like
It's
all the
true.
opportunities. So
It's true. And like piggybacking off of that, so I actually took a death and dying class in college.
wait,
Which
what was the
actually,
first? Did he say death?
Death and
death
dying.
and dying.
Oh, okay.
Sounds
So
fun.
it was actually really fun, and the most valuable class I took in undergrad, because I gained a lot from it. Part of the class is just like being able to understand the process of aging, and finding ways to understand like there is an end to your life, and it just kind of helps you change your perspective on life and like how you're going to approach living your life, right? And one of the most valuable things was, one of our final projects was interviewing your grandparent, or interviewing a group of elderly in a retirement home. And I did both. And one of the most important things that I still think about, and was the most valuable thing I learned, was that my grandma said, my life was really short until I started getting married and having kids. I wasn't able to finish school. I, didn't do all the things that I wanted to do. I wish I would have traveled. I wish all these things. And she's 80, and like she's gonna, and this was like years ago, but she's still probably going to be at that point where she's like, I wish I did all of this and I didn't get to do it. So what I carry with me is like, I don't want to like be 80 years old and be like, I wish I'd done all this, So that's why I push to keep doing more, because I want to make the most out of my life and be able to look back and be like, you know what, I'm good. Like if I'm going to get real dark, but if my time comes at that age, I can be really proud of what I did and be okay with the legacy that I leave with whoever, wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, it's not dark at all. I mean, that's literally like life.
But it's true.
Yeah,
it can get darker.
I'm gonna
get darker.
It's facts, Yeah, it could get darker, but like it's facts, literally
but
at
it's
any
facts.
at any moment, like any freak of what is it? Any freak accident can happen, and then boom, that's it. You know what I mean? Like so many crazy things happen all the time. Shout out Florida. No, I'm just kidding.
Especially during this pandemic.
Right, like
you never know. You can do what you can to be as safe as possible. You just never know.
Tomorrow isn't promised.
Yeah, so
tomorrow is not promised.
It's good. It's good that you're doing that. Like you're, and it's like for anyone that's watching right now, basically live your life to the fullest. Do what you gotta do. Shoot your shot. Shoot your shot for that job, that girl or guy. Freaking take that trip, book that flight. Go do something. Book that flight. Let's go. Where are we going? But
and show up with flowers and an "I love you" sign, just like the movie.
That's facts. Valentine's Day is coming up. Yo, ask them Valentine's. Yo, be my Valentine. Yo, Tweaks, you trying to be my Valentine or what?
No thanks.
Damn. Whatever. Rejection is a part of life. You know what? Hey, Tweaks. You know what?
I just said it as a life lesson, so you can live with rejection.
I've already gone through that so many times. So thank you for giving me another lesson that I've already been through. But see, I ain't sad, bro. I'm gonna move on.
It's okay. Maybe if you ask one more time, maybe I'll say yes.
Hey, Tweaks, will you? No, I'm not gonna ask. But anyway, yeah. So, I love that. I love that. You're living your life to the fullest, and knowing you personally, I definitely see you doing that. I think it's inspiring. No one asks you to come up with these designs that you do. No one asks you to just work on these things. You just do it, and you take the initiative on these things, and I love it. Like I literally have your art page pulled up like on my other monitor, and I love like you're coming up with these designs too, and like I said, no one's asking you to do it. I posted it in chat. Yeah. And I don't know. I think we talked about this before, Karen. But oh my god, like so you did these stationaries for a wedding, right? The ones I'm looking at. You honestly,
I think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
You need to like do more of those cards because those are fire. Like I love those.
I was really excited about how those came out. They're really nice, and the guys, like groomsmen, were really happy about it. So I was very happy about it. But those were really fun to do.
I really, I like your. I don't know. You're like I keep talking about your designs, but you're very versatile in what you do. I
am.
I love this.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, like Snorlax was saying that What is it? Jack of all, master of none, jack of all trades.
Dude, you know what? I have feelings about that phrase.
Really? Tell me.
I do. So the whole jack of all trades is cool, but master of one versus master of none. Either can really bite you in the ass wherever you are, because if you're a master of none, well, that sucks. But also, people don't take advantage of you. Even if you are a master of many. But if you're a master of one, well, that's cool, but then you get taken advantage of. And I've gone through that.
Like, what master of what though? Like, so what skill specifically are you talking about?
Oh crap, I forgot. Oh, well, okay, so like
Yeah.
my last job, well, anywhere really. I just love learning to do everything and seeing a company in all different aspects. And the last job I had, I started off as a sign artist, and then that job got phased out, and then I was able to do a lot of different things around the store. Um, because I was so good at because I was so good at so many things, I became a store floater, which was cool, or like a specific kind of store floater where I was only in certain departments. Um, but then it bit me in the ass because I would be pulled in so many different directions, and like certain managers of different departments didn't like that. And then I had a conversation one day with a coworker where she was like, "You should not tell people that you like doing all these different things because look, it's stressing you out, and then it's stressing the managers out. And it's not your fault, but in a dysfunctional place, being a master of one pays off because you won't be pulled in different directions, but also in that one department that you are a master of one in, you can be taken advantage of in terms of like working overtime or doing things outside of your job description. If you're like, for instance, like a floral clerk, but maybe you're doing the job of like a floral manager because you're good at what you do.
But you're not getting compensated as a floral
Yeah, and you're not
manager.
getting compensated. Yeah, does that make sense?
Do you think
Yeah.
like this segues into something else, I guess, but we could just build off of this, but you think that kind of, goes on to like establishing boundaries at work, like being able to say no? Cuz I personally feel that there's a lot of people at work. I've met a lot of people. I know a lot of people that never say no. They're always like yes, 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 yes. And the thing is, they stretch themselves so thin to the point where
Mm-hmm.
they're just kind of like neglecting other parts of their life because they're not saying no to other
Mm-hmm.
things, or they're not setting those boundaries. They're not like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you know what do you think? Do you think part of that has to do with like setting boundaries, or
You have to learn to set boundaries for sure. And I didn't learn how to do that until later in my 4 years that I spent at my last job because I was very like, oh, I want to do everything. I'm just going to say yes to everything.
yeah,
But also, I'm stressed out and I'm one person. I can only do so much. So I need to tell them what's up. And then that also goes with other aspects of life too. You really have to take care of yourself and remember that you only have so much in your tank and that the energy and the good vibes that you have like is so valuable. You can't just expend it to just anybody.
yeah,
And by the end of the day, hopefully you're not on E, and hopefully you have a little bit of that energy left for yourself to like calm down and wind down at the end of the day and be okay.
yeah.
But that's not always the case.
I like that, and that's good.
Boundaries are rough,
They
and
are.
voicing that is hard. So I totally get it, but you can do it.
Yeah, boundaries definitely are something that a lot of people struggle to set. I personally, I feel like I've learned a lot about that. I'm a very giving person. I'm very, like
Me
when it comes to my
too.
friends or just people in general, I'm just like, yeah, dude, like I got you, I'll do this, whatever. But I feel like as we get busier and we don't have as much time for ourselves, and especially like I feel like I'm not the only one that has learned a lot from this pandemic, but I feel like I've definitely learned a lot about my time and a lot about who deserves it and doesn't. And I used to say
Hmm.
yes to everything. I used to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go out just because of FOMO, fear of missing out. I was just like, dude, I don't want to freaking miss out on all these things. And then like people would like try to guilt trip me and just be like, oh, you're not going, that's whack, come on, come on, come on. You just kind of gotta stick to your like morals and stick to your goals and be like, dude, I had to set the goal to do this tonight. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna set this boundary. I'm gonna say no, and I'm gonna do it. And the thing is, because our time, like we could be like, I don't know. Lately, I think about time in a different way. I don't think like, oh, I'm gonna get a this weekend. I'm gonna get to go this. I think now like, what am I gonna do on Monday? I'm excited for Mondays. Like because it's the start of a new week. I love Mondays, and the thing is, when you're when it comes to like, you know, I forgot where I was going with this. I was going on a tangent over here. But basically, like, yeah. So your time, your time is valuable. Your time is important. So it's definitely you gotta say no to people. You gotta set those boundaries, and be exclusive and intentional with who you give your time to, because if you just give it to everyone, you're not gonna have any left for yourself, and then you're gonna, like you said, be left on eat. So it's something I've been learning, to say no, or to kind of, like, for example, lately, shout out my boy JDZ. He's the one that helps me make like the sneaker videos I do. So what I try to do is, I'll try to plan like trips to LA and then make sneaker videos with him, and then we'll like go eat dinner or have fun after and stuff like that. So kind of it's work and play, you know what I mean? But the thing is, I love that, having people with a similar mindset, the grind mindset, which a lot of people don't have, is just it's kind of great, because you could work with these people, but you can also have fun with them, so yeah. But basically, be intentional with your time, because a lot of people, they just kind of want to take your time, they want to take but never give, but also you shouldn't ever give and expect things. You should just do it because you can, but also make sure to not give too much, because then you're not going to have anything left for yourself. But little tangent.
All good. No, I totally agree with that. Be intentional. It makes a difference in the community.
But I wanted to ask you, so you do custom sneakers. Like, how does that work? Do you want to bring one and show us like the sneaker? You're like, no, I'm not gonna get up. I'm not wearing it. So yeah, Karen does like custom sneakers. I want to work with her to make a Square the Bear one. That'd be hard.
Okay, I have two. And I personally love, I don't sell any. I like painting them for myself and just having them like on bookshelves, because they're like cool statement pieces.
Yeah.
Every one that I have on my shelves are custom, except for a pair of these guys, the Bread Force, which I actually got a half size too small for myself. Decided to keep them. But I love painting little baby shoes because they're small and cute. And I also love the challenge of the fact that like it's a small surface area. You have to use a very tiny brush and like really pay attention to what you're doing, or else you're gonna mess up. But like this guy, I did a riff off of like the Union Jordan 1 colors, and then and I try to do like the cement effect. But they're so cute. And like this one I did as homework for therapy, because my family's cat passed away in March, and my therapist told me like, oh, you like customizing shoes, why don't you make a shoe that is dedicated to her? So I did like her colors, which she was a calico, so there's her 3 colors, and then she had this like brown mole on her nose, so I put that on the side right here, and little whiskers. They're super cute. But yeah, I love painting shoes. They're really fun, and I haven't done it in a while, but I've been meaning to get back into it. But it's one of the other things I do, which is really cool, that I just haven't gotten around to doing. But yeah, I have never sold a pair. Don't really plan to. It's kind of just a therapeutic thing for myself at the moment.
No, that's cool. Like, you found, kind of a way to occupy your mind and do something fun, That's good. Like, they look great, I seen like some of your custom pairs and they look super dope.
Thank you.
How long does it take to like make one? Like, let's say you're making like a full size, not a baby. How long will it take you to do that?
So my finger. So this pair here is the Bloodline. You guys remember that one? They came out in 2019. The Bloodline Air Jordan 1s. So they were originally, let me get them.
I'll post them in the chat right now. The Bloodline ones. Jesus Christ, that link is huge.
Nice.
So the Bloodline Jordan 1s, I'm pretty sure they came out 2019. Were originally with like black uppers and mudguard and stuff, with I want to say a red swoosh. I really
Black
don't
swoosh.
remember what they looked like. But I kind of got bored of them, and it was the first shoe that I painted. So what I did was I just did like a darker red color, and they're actually different on each shoe. So like this pair has a gold swoosh with the pink outline, and then this one has the pink with the gold outline. And my thing is I love sparkles on my illustrations, so I put them on the side here too. I do not mess with the wings logo because it's so freaking small. I would need to pluck like an eyelash probably to be able to do the lines. And then the tongue.
Those look
the tongues
sick.
are. Thank you. The tag is reversed, so like one's gold, one's pink, both with like a red swoosh. And then I do not mess with the soles, so I kept the soles the red color that they were originally in. But that was the first pair that I painted, and I've worn them a handful of times and beat them to death in my eyes, and the paint's peeling off because it was the first one I did. I had no idea how to like seal them really well, but they're a cool color, and I just keep them on my bookshelf.
They kind of remind me of I'm trying to think what pair it was. I don't remember which pair, but they look sick. I think you did a really good job, and definitely, I don't know, they're hard. I don't know. I feel like painting sneakers is definitely something that requires a lot of patience, and
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does. Like, I did not tape these at all. I dove finger first and just went for it. I was like, taping takes a lot of time. I want to get from point A to point B, but also like I'm pretty confident in my skills because I've, you know, like over time developed like a steady hand, and I know how to breathe, so I'm not gonna like be shaky. But for not taping, I did pretty good. I only had to put white paint in very few spots, but it took a long time though.
No, they came out good. Yeah, I don't know. I've never like thought about customizing a shoe because I feel like I'm scared. You know, I feel like I'm super sloppy when it comes to like I have sausage fingers. You know, so me painting on something will probably be like hella hard. You know.
It just takes a very thin brush for sure.
I'll just be like, I'll mess it up. I'll be like, you know what? Screw this, and I'll just yeah. But no, it's cool that you do that.
Though. It's very fun.
Do you have like, talking about like the future and stuff? Like, what do you got cooking that you could talk about for yourself or in general?
For the future, for myself, I'm just trying. Like, I have a couple months left of my contract. It ends in May, which is still a while, I know. But for my Virgo self, I'm like I freaked out like months ago already. So I'm trying to lock in a full-time black badge job because contract life is not fun. It is not fun. Like, not just missing out on like the perks that you could possibly get with Nike, but it's just a lot of stress, and like I just want to be there already. But I know that it takes time and opportunity, so I'm trying to be as patient as possible. But I actually didn't know this until I got my role, but at this point in my journey with Nike so far, I've been able to narrow down my funnel in terms of what I want my next role to be. So I want my next role to be with like creating graphics for apparel. I would love to be the brains behind something cool that you wear on a shirt for like Nike lifestyle, or in kids clothing or men's or women's, whatever. I would love to be an ITSB and be able to make graphics for them because they always have like the best shirts.
Mhm.
Um, but that's what I'm going towards. And it took getting these free volunteer projects outside of my role, but still within Nike, to realize that that's what I wanted to do. And that is where like a lot of my networking paid off, because I was able to do a really cool project with this hub in Nike,
Mm-hmm.
and then my name got out there and my name got bigger, and people started to notice like my aesthetic in my artwork. And also I gained a following on Instagram of Nike people, which I'm super thankful for. And as time goes on, more and more people notice like, oh, I've seen your work here, here, here. I want you to make a t-shirt graphic for my team. And I'm like, okay, cool. And there's that issue of like, you should never do work for free, blah blah blah. I hate that, because I'm very like, what I believe is like, if you know that that opportunity is going to get you somewhere and that you're going to build these positive relationships with these people and they can possibly help you, like, take it, because you never know how that's going to also pay off for you in the end. Not only are you getting a portfolio, not only am I getting a portfolio piece, but I'm developing great relationships that will hopefully last and that they'll come back to me to ask for another t-shirt graphic. So because I've been able to do multiple projects that revolve around shirt graphics, I was like, I'm going to keep going with that, because I am in the apparel side and I've been able to see the behind the scenes of how a graphic for the Lakers gets from your screen, from the designer to the screen to China.
Mhm.
Might as well use that knowledge as a graphic designer too. So hopefully I land something in t-shirt graphics, because that would be fun. Um, and I'm very open to where that could possibly be with the Nike for sure. Um, but that's what I'm shooting for next, and hopefully I can land something before my contract ends, so I don't have to take certain time off of work. Or I'm also like, hey, if it's like a month after my contract ends, like, it's a month after my contract ends.
Yeah,
Mhm.
You gotta be patient, right?
you'll get it. I believe, dude. I believe.
Mhm. Mhm.
I want to ask you a question. Like, you don't have to answer this and shit. This is like probably like a little controversial one, but like, you know how the whole sneakers thing with that one? I think it was a SVP or anything like that. Like, you know what I'm talking about? You know that
Wait,
SVP that resold that, like, her son was like a reseller and stuff like that.
oh yeah,
What do
what
you
about it?
like? What are your thoughts on that? I just like, I don't know. I feel like it's interesting, because I feel like she got in trouble because people were calling it out, but I feel like anyone else probably would have done the same if they were in they were in her shoes. You know what I mean?
I mean, it sucks what happened,
Mm-hmm.
and like, only her and her son know the truth.
Yeah, it's facts.
And like, I don't think anybody would spill that 100% truth to the world.
Yeah.
um there's got to be something here, but anyways, it sucks what happened for sure,
Mm-hmm.
and it sucks that her job was stripped away from her because that happened.
Yeah.
I think the biggest lesson is, don't resell shoes if you are related to someone that works for Nike, because you should know the rules.
That's facts.
Or at
All I
least keep
gotta
it on the
say.
down low. Don't,
Yeah.
like, the thing that got him caught was just being so flamboyant about it and just flaunting it.
Yeah, and if
Being
and when you're a teenager and you're young like that, of course you're gonna want to flaunt it to people, right? Because that's what
Mhm.
makes you look cool. That's what gets you friends. But no, it isn't.
Like,
Yeah.
Um,
it just, I feel like it's not the only circumstance that's going on where someone that works at Nike is like backdooring
Mm-hmm.
for reselling. It's just
mhm.
the only one that blew up because he was so open about it, and like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and someone caught on and be like, "Hey, doesn't your mom work for Nike?"
that's rough.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That.
rough.
Yeah. I feel like, dude. I mean, like you said, no one knows, but I definitely feel like that guy, that kid is definitely, yeah, too much. Like, that's like flexing gone wrong type shit. It's like same thing with like all these people that are getting like the whole the loans for the businesses. You see it, like people have been getting caught doing like fraud and stuff like that, like flexing like Lambos or anything like that, and it's
Oh,
like, bro, you got like a PPP loan or whatever the heck they're called, and it's just like,
and they can't pay it back.
yeah, it's like flexing gone wrong. But yeah, it's kind of funny. So yeah, no, that's cool. I like that. Definitely, no one knows what happened. It's just she just got a lot of backlash, and because of that, she you know, speaking of like getting canceled or whatever, there's like a funny story here. So these are Travis Scott's, but I flip them and say that they're the Mochas because you know how people say like Travis Scott's canceled or whatever. So I just flipped them and then I'm just like, nah, bro, they're not the Travis Scotts, they're the Mochas, because someone
Oh
came
my
into
god.
like my other chat, like cause I do the other stream, the Square the Bear one, and they were like, are those Travis Scotts? Isn't that he canceled? And I was just kind of like, I was just like, oh my bad, bro, they're not. They're the Mochas, dude. Chill. It's
Oh
just
my
kind of like
gosh.
a little inside joke. But yeah, people are always like, "Hey, are those the Travis Scotts?" And I'm like, "Nah, they're the Mochas," but just a dumb little joke. Um, but yeah, no, I like your perspective on that. I think it's good. You got any questions, Joseph?
Who's that?
I mean, tweaks. My bad.
Giving my government name out there. I'm like,
Oh,
damn,
sorry,
bro.
Yeah,
bro.
do you have any questions?
Do I have any questions?
Yeah.
I don't know if
What
it's
do you
related
want?
to. I don't know if it's like related to your work, but just how is living in Portland? Like, wasn't
Oh yeah.
there like um were you there when the whole riots went on, and how was that like dealing with that, working there and having to like live your everyday life with like a basic like warfare zone or a war zone outside, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so I live in Southwest Portland. I'm away from everything that happened, luckily. It is unfortunate that we've gotten to this place where the state of the world is like this, and especially for Portland. And, Portland is filled with a lot of people with a lot of feelings, and it's great. They want to, voice their concerns and whatnot for changing the world.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, it is kind of scary. Like when I first moved here, when I first visited alone, like I came by myself. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I felt completely safe walking around the streets, and like it was exactly, well, I guess it was what I was looking for. I wanted to be able to get a piece of that city life
Mm-hmm.
downtown, but also cross the river, and you get a little bit of the suburbia life, and you see these happy little families walking around the neighborhood like after dinner, and I'm like, oh my god, I feel like even though I don't know this city, like I don't need like pepper spray or something, because everybody's so nice here, so
Yeah.
quaint and safe. And then everything happened with the protests, the rioting, and all that, and even just like the random rallies that the Proud Boys would be at. It is scary. And for once in my life, like back in November, I went to a friend's celebration at a bar, and it was the first time where I felt like, oh shoot, like I should have pepper spray on me, because the streets have gotten really bad with the houseless community, and we have a huge population of people that are not in homes. They are on the streets, and they are either in a tent or under a sleeping bag or nothing, or there are people in vans and RVs parked along the sidewalk. And like, I obviously don't know their background, their story, but when you see that everywhere and they're not in their best state of mind, it is kind of scary to someone like us.
Mm-hmm.
So it has gotten bad, and like there's been a lot more crime that's been happening, but during those situations, I fortunately do live farther away from those areas that it happens. But,
Mm-hmm.
to know that even though I am across the river in a different area, to know that it is happening around the city, like it is still scary, because people that live in those areas, or people in the businesses that have like a small mom and pop shop or something, or a coffee
Mm-hmm.
shop that could potentially get vandalized.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary. And then you know that the crime rate goes up because that's just how it goes. People have
Mm-hmm.
feelings and they start vandalizing places, and there's guns involved. It's
Yeah.
not fun. Um, but yeah, compared to when I first moved here, it's changed
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot. And some parts of the some parts of Portland, I do feel like I have to like have a friend drop me off at my car, or I should bring my pepper spray with me. As opposed to when I first moved here, and I was like, oh, I'm walking by the homeless shelter to get to my bus stop. I'm good. Like, they're nice and I
Mm-hmm.
can have a conversation with them. But now it's like, oh no, like, I'm genuinely concerned. That
Yeah.
sucks. Yeah. Hopefully that answered your question.
No, yeah. I've always wanted to visit Portland, just either Beaverton or like
Mm-hmm.
Portland itself, just because
Yeah.
it seems like a nice place to like.
Yeah. It like aside from those riots that happened and like all of the protesting, like it really is a great place. I want to stay here for a while, not just because my work is here and I want to stay with Nike for a long time,
Hmm.
but because it really does remind me of the Bay Area. Like the people remind me of like being in Berkeley and Oakland, you know,
Hmm.
and for me, I like that good mix of, oh, it kind of feels like you're in a city, but
Hmm.
then you can also step outside and like get a little bit of the suburb life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's good food, there's things to see, and like if you're an outdoors person, like there's plenty of places to visit, to hike around and see really pretty views. And like the coast is like 2 hours away because they don't
Yeah.
call it the beach here, but it's not that far away. And i feel like I feel like for me, I describe it as like the perfect place for a Californian to get away to if they,
Hmm.
you know, because it's very slow paced here, and I'm someone that like struggles with anxiety and I'm stressed all the time. But compared to like LA, where it's like overcrowded with people and
Yeah.
it's a it's a busy life down there, you can feel that it's a lot slower here.
Hmm.
So I like to tell my friends, like, hey, if you ever need to get out of your house or whatever and go somewhere quiet, like I feel like it's quiet here, and you can go to quiet areas and,
Yeah.
you know, relax a little bit. So I feel like a lot of people I would recommend checking out. And like we have a great sneaker community here, and
Hmm.
I wasn't able to, and I didn't find it until this past year, really.
Yeah.
And I feel like I finally found a community that I can vibe with and like make friends in. And it's really cool because like we have a coffee shop that's very sneaker centric.
Hmm.
And they just opened up a new location. It was a way for me to meet friends that have the same interests, and it was also a way for me to ex- give my art some exposure. So
Yeah.
I think it's natural for Portland because we have Adidas and we have Nike. So there's always like everybody,
It,
or at least a big chunk of people, love shoes, right?
it would make
And you
sense,
never,
right?
yeah, and you never know who you're going to run into from those companies. So it's really cool to be able to like be in that community and culture and get to know people for sure. So if you're a sneakerhead, there's places to go to, places to check out, and people to meet. Yeah, everybody's super nice.
Nice. I would
I,
hope so.
Yep, yep.
I wanted to ask you like about work. We talked about this in terms of work culture, and I won't take up too much more of your time. I know it's getting kind of late, but like in terms of work culture, like, is there anything you would change? Because I know, like you said, you're a contractor, and I know that like at my old job in tech, I know that contractors weren't treated as great as like full time employees. They were kind of like I know they were just there's a lot of things, and you know what do you think, like what would you change in terms of like culture and just the way employees are treated, like POC stuff?
Um, I mean, if in my ideal world, I would love for them to get rid of the contract life. I understand from a business standpoint why there's so many contract workers, for sure, but it's not feasible, it's not livable, it's not stable, and it drives people crazy. And I wish it didn't exist, for sure. So I mean, I could come up with all of the different kinds of solutions, but the only thing that I can think about is like what I can control, and that is to try to get a full-time role, try to climb my way to the top of wherever that may be, where I can have some kind of influence on how things operate in different areas. And why not, if I'm a woman of color, like, hello, that would be really cool to be able to show other little girls that are Asian or Black or Latina that they can do the same thing too. If they work hard and play the game right, they can get to where I am too. I would love to see a corporate setting have less of the old white men that are up top, because all, like, not just because they're in a totally different generation. So obviously that comes with a lot of like old ways of thinking. And they also kind of take advantage of that. But I really like that Nike has been very good at getting rid of the toxicity that it probably had before. But we're starting to see like more people of color up in these leadership roles, and that's super important, because not only is it telling the kids that are our future, like, hey, you can get these kinds of jobs too, and it inspires them, but it's creating a more diverse work culture, and diversity is needed everywhere. This is the whitest city you can go to. This city is white.
Yeah. From what I know about Portland, it's very white dominated.
It is very white dominated. It took a while for me to even like figure out where the other Asian people were besides the Asian market. You know? It would be so cool to see all these different types of people up top at Nike, and like see what we can do to take over, and the changes and differences that we can make. And hopefully, like, I know that when I first moved here, I definitely thought that getting into Nike was like a very far-fetched dream, because I was like, I don't know anybody there. Like, how the heck would I get it? I also, like, even in college as a kinesiologist, I was applying to jobs like just for fun, and obviously I didn't get them, but I was like, I already knew like they're not going to see my name because I don't have a connection to anybody in the company. There's no way. And luckily, you know, networking at my old job, that paid off.
Do you think, sorry, not to interject, but do you think too, like, your name sometimes, like your last name in Inthinavong, when people see it, they're like, what the fuck, you know?
They're intimidated by it, or like...
Because they should be intimidated by me, because
you're
cool.
bad, let's go.
But...
I don't know if you've seen that, like, it was like a I don't know, I forgot, it was like an Instagram video or what, but there was this guy, and I forgot what his name was, but I think it maybe was Joseph or something.
It's Jose. I think it's like Jose versus Joseph. Like,
damn it! It was Jose. Damn it! No, but he changed.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I haven't seen that.
I'll try to find it and I'll send it to you. But he changed his name from like Jose or Joseph to Joe. And then he applied to the same jobs, and he did get callbacks from that.
And that stings. I mean, I would hope that a recruiter or hiring manager isn't like thrown off by somebody's name. Hopefully in 2022, in these times, that people are a little bit more inclusive about that. But I mean, also, my name is freaking Karen. Like, everybody's afraid of all the Karens out there. And I'm like, dude, no. Whoever came up with that, like, all of those Karens, put shame on my name.
Because you're the cool Karen.
So my goal is to be the Karen up at top that doesn't have to speak to the manager because I am the manager. But I'm cool, you know?
But I feel like if they see Karen and then they see your last name, they're like, I don't think this is the right Karen. Like,
Yeah.
it's like Karen Jones, Karen Adams.
Oh my
Then
God.
you're like, oh.
I would hope that my last name does not deter people from, you know, putting me in like their yes pile.
Mhm.
And hopefully that's not an issue in like recruiter world and talent acquisition world, that names aren't a thing and that they actually care about what's on the resume. And one thing that I noticed is that some recruiters that I've connected with, I've never seen their faces.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they're trying to, like, you know, get to know the people and not have that bias because of the way they look. So that's really cool. We're making strides. Like,
Yeah.
what's up, world?
Yeah.
Props to them. But yeah, hopefully name is not a thing. And hopefully they're like scoffing at my resume because I don't know.
They see Karen and they're like, no.
I know. I'm like, oh shoot, I should change my name.
You're just like Karen. You just change the Inthina and just put Karen Vong.
I should put really small, not one of those Karens on my resume. I promise, I swear, I'm a good one. At least that's what I believe. But yeah.
No,
I think
it's. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead. I was gonna say, I think it'd be really funny if I could spin that around and be the manager.
Yeah, I am the man. I am that. We worked our way up.
We worked our way up. I need to go dye my hair blonde now.
I'm dead. No, I think it's like, you know, we're talking about hiring. You know, I have stories. Well, I guess like. Yeah, I guess like I have like, well, one story basically, or actually like two, I guess, but you know, where I've been screwed over, you know, like I've interviewed for a job and it just kind of like I feel like I was like screwed over by an internal employee because they were intimidated by me, by my knowledge, by my passion. Like, you don't have to give specifics, but have you ever had like a negative interview experience where you just kind of like, it turns you off from the company and you're just like, what the hell is this shit, you know?
I don't think so.
That's good. I hope you don't.
I mean, I hope I don't either. But no, I don't think I've ever had that experience.
Yeah.
I hope I don't ever do that. And that really sucks that you had to experience that.
It was definitely like, it pissed me off.
Super petty.
Dude, you like, okay, so I'll just touch on it for a bit. I'm not gonna say what company it was, but after it happened, like, I was definitely like, dude, like, I don't even want to. It was a gaming company. After that interview happened, I was just like super like turned off by that company. I was just like, dude, like, this sucks. It was just, I interviewed with this person who was a sneakerhead, and like we vibed. It went well and everything, but I feel that I knew too much, you know, because I brought up things about the company that were currently going on. I do my research, you know, as you should when you interview. And I brought up certain things and I was just like, dude, this is like really great that you guys did that. And she was like, oh, like basically she didn't know, you know what I mean? And then the next round of interviews, I interviewed with like two people, and you know, one of the female person I interviewed, I don't really like, it was just whatever, you know, we just talked, very straightforward questions. But then the other person I spoke with, they're very straightforward. They're like, the first person you spoke with thinks you're overqualified for this position, and like, I love that transparency, you know, I love that. He was like, I think this person thinks you're they're very overqualified. Not very. They said overqualified for the position. I think that's a cop out and it's bullshit. We're gonna keep interviewing you. So we talked, and like, you know, the interview went well with him because he was very transparent. I love that, you know. But then for the final interview, it was super sketchy because, and I say, well, I'll get to that, I guess. But before the final interview, they asked me to put together a presentation, and in this presentation, they were like, come up with I forgot what the exact word is, but it was basically like come up with a partnership with a company that isn't directly involved with gaming. So I did. And then for the final interview, I was supposed to like interview with like the senior manager or whatever. I ended up interviewing with the same person I interviewed with the first time. So after hearing like that, she thought I was overqualified. I was like, oh, dude, like this isn't gonna work out. You know, like I could already tell. And not only was she was like, I think the interview was like 20-30 minutes. She was like 20 minutes late to the interview, and then she was like asking me about, like, I could tell she was like rushed. She was like not comfortable, and instead of rescheduling, she just like gave me that time and that's it. And in that like those 10 minutes, we had to go through the presentation, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. I was just waiting because like she didn't tell me like, oh, I'm gonna be late. Like I messaged her, I was like, oh, or I don't remember exactly what happened, but I just remember that she was late, and then you know, the it just did it, like I didn't feel comfortable. You know what I mean? I didn't feel comfortable when I had that interview, and like I couldn't, like she didn't even tell me, like I had to send over my presentation was really good. It wasn't something that you could have gone over like in that short amount of time, but like I didn't feel comfortable because, you know, she had already like said, hey, I think this guy's overqualified, and I was supposed to interview with someone higher than her, and I interviewed with her. So it just kind of like, I felt like I was screwed over in that sense, you know what I mean, where I interviewed with someone that really didn't even want to consider me for the position, you know what I mean. um but yeah, I think companies need to really be more active in job searches. You know, they need to know exactly what's happening and things like that, because, you know, there's a lot of times that people, whoever you're interviewing with, they judge you, but like they judge you based on other things other than um the fact that you're qualified for the position, you know what I mean. But yeah, so that's probably like the most negative like experience I've ever had. uh and I hope no one ever goes through that, because dude, it just sucked like going through that whole process and coming, like I worked my ass off on this presentation just to not get my time to actually be able to present it, you know what I mean. And like when I tell you this presentation was fire, this presentation was fire, like probably like some of my best freaking work yet. I was like, dude, this presentation, like if I don't get hired, bro, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I didn't end up getting hired. But yeah, so I guess like that just goes to say too, like don't get discouraged if you're not hired for a certain reason. It could also be personal, and it is personal sometimes, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just sometimes it's the luck of the draw, you know. When I interviewed at Western Digital, like I was lucky. Like I was probably like one of the best interview processes I've ever had, you know, because I could tell the energy was there. Like we were vibing, you know, like I thought I was vibing with the first person I interviewed, but you know, everyone was like super welcoming. Everyone was super enthusiastic, excited about what they were doing. Like I felt like they genuinely were interested in what I was doing. And then my final interview in that job, it was super, it was very intimidating because shout out to Sven. There's this guy named Sven that interviewed me. He was the last person that interviewed me. And, you know, I was intimidated because like this guy, he was just very confident. And while we were talking, he wasn't paying attention to me. He was looking at his laptop, and I was like, what the fuck? Like this is, I've never, like I'm like, am I supposed to talk? Am I supposed to wait till he looks at me? And he was just like, no, keep talking. I'm listening. I'm listening. And then the thing is, he didn't ask me to make a presentation, but I made one anyway, being like the overachiever I am, and it's also a job, you know. And I was like, hey, I made this presentation. uh so yeah. And then as soon as I said that, it's like a switch flip. Like because it was an Apple conference I think was going on that day. As soon as I told him that, he moved his chair, and I brought my laptop, and then like, okay, he like full undivided attention after that. And I basically, in that presentation, I talked about like 20, I think it was like 10 trends going on. I talked about myself, why I want to be in product marketing, and basically I told a story, and I got that job, you know. I think I got that job like that day, you know. But yeah, so it really, you know, these interviews, it really, I think that people, like, you know, what we're talking about, you know, people definitely need to, interviews need to change, you know, because it really affects like the way you perceive a company, you know. Like it's not just because of interviews. It's not just because of certain things. Like there's definitely a lot of ways that change the way you perceive a company. You know, from getting interviewed, from buying the product, from after the product, the quality of the product. So it's like, I think interviews and just hiring practices need to be more monitored. You know what I mean? Because how do you know people aren't being discriminated against for a certain reason? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But yeah. So anyway, went off on a little tangent there. But yeah.
No, I
Yes.
totally agree. There's a lot of people out there that will take things personally and use it against you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not fair.
Yeah. And back to what you're saying. What do you think? Like I've known you, and I guess I could be a little biased, but I don't really think so. But based off your work ethic, based on like what you do, the projects you've done, I think it's super like how can like a company like Nike make sure you don't slip through their like through the cracks, you know what I mean? Like you're applying to jobs and you're posting on LinkedIn. What else would they be able to do to make sure like a great person like you doesn't like slip through the cracks, you know?
I have no idea. That's what we all want to know. That's what we all want to know.
Right.
There's a lot of people that apply to this company
Mm.
every single day, thousands and thousands. And there's also a lot of people that do like the initial phone screenings,
Mm-hmm.
like the talent acquisition team
Yeah.
that actually scope out people, or even recruiters that, are trying to help you get your stuff in front of a
Mm-hmm.
hiring manager. Right now in my journey, I am definitely very fortunate to be in, so that's my leg up. And I do have access to kind of speed things up for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely like steps ahead of a lot of people, but I can still slip through the cracks because an email gets lost,
Right.
or doesn't get to the right person. So then it's on then it's on my end to like double check or like follow up with a recruiter that's helping me out,
Mm-hmm.
or anybody else that's helping me out along the way to get my stuff in front of a hiring manager. So I don't know, dude. There's just too many people that want to work here, and I don't blame them. Um, but because there's so many people, it is easy to slip through the cracks because
Mm.
there's not enough people to monitor how many people apply and get to know the people that want to work here. So,
Right.
and then it really is down to this freaking piece of paper that you make about yourself and trying to sell yourself. And that is hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard talking about yourself. It's hard hyping yourself up in that professional way.
Right.
And it really is, it really does come down to the people you know, if you're an outsider, and if you can make a bomb ass resume that not only will like sell you the best that it can, but also is what they're looking for. That makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, we're about
It
to
sucks.
reach 2 hours, and like I don't want to take up a lot of your time. It's about to be 9. I've enjoyed this conversation. Maybe we could have you back and stuff and touch on other things, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. I wanted to open it up for questions from like the community. If anyone has questions, like you guys can drop them in the chat or whatever. But do you have any questions for us, Karen? Like anything you want to know about us? I know
Yeah, I
you quite.
love I Oh yeah. Oh wait, go
Oh
ahead.
no, go
Finish.
ahead, go ahead.
I want to know how you guys know each other.
Oh man, no, I'm just kidding.
How did you
Uh,
guys meet?
so Tweaks' older brother is actually like one of my best friends. Really good guy, someone I've known for years, and
Hmm.
definitely like I don't know, someone I like respect a lot. We went to high school together, and him and I like I've always like respected his work ethic, and then coming around, I met Tweaks because I'm like super close with his family and stuff, and him and I have been to on like vacations together. His family, his mom calls me like the
Oh,
adopted son,
oh my
and
god.
I've gone to Cancun with them. Tweaks and his other brother. You're twin Tweaks. You wanna Yeah, he's a
Oh,
twin
okay.
brother. You know, like
Mhm.
him and his twin and I, we went to Japan together, and you know, we just been hella cool. Tweaks has been starting to go to like a lot of shows and stuff like that.
Nice.
And yeah, it's basically how we know each other. You know, we both like are from the same area, and the way this podcast started was just because like you know I was already gonna start something, and Tweaks was like, "Hey, dude, like I'd be interested in doing something like this," so. You know, we both kind of said, "Hey, dude, like, you know, let's come up with something." We came up with the Slim Thick name, you know, like I'm thick, he's slim, you know, Slim Thick. So that's kind of how it came to fruition. But you got anything to say about that, Tweaks, or?
I mean, yeah, we just known each other for a while. It's just one of those relationships that's been constant throughout. Like I forget how many years I've known him. It's a blur. I honestly don't know when I met him because it's
Mhm.
been so many years, but I've always had a good relationship with Square and just we like you said, we've been on vacations together, like and we enjoy most of the same things like gaming and like being out and about and like exercising, sports, just and having conversations like that. And he genuinely cares for like me and my family. So I mean, it's always good to have like that one person that's always there for you, you know, whenever you need
Mhm.
them. No, it's like
Cool.
Square loves to kick me in the ass like whenever I'm not doing things and like keeps me motivated to like actually try and do something just so I don't disappoint Square.
Disappoint yourself, you nerd.
That's funny.
I do disappoint myself.
But
That's
yeah,
cool. You guys have a big history, and then you guys also go to the same shows together. Yeah,
Yeah, well, we try to.
yeah. Well,
got
we
it.
went to see. Wait, no, wait, never mind. I was gonna say we went to the Turnstile Shit Pit one, but
No, that
you
was
didn't get
just
a
you.
ticket. We went to oh, we went to RBS together, huh?
Yeah, we went to RBS.
RBS. Oh my god, RBS was like the best
Dang.
show. Shout out Gold. Shout out Tsunami.
And that was the one that was outside of the warehouses, right? The one
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was like the first show back or whatever. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh my
I
god.
I didn't start making friends at work um until I posted a picture of somebody wearing something that looked like the carpet dunks, but it
Hmm.
wasn't the carpet dunks. But I posted it in one of our channels, and then one of my good friends now, Drew, we started talking to each other, and then yeah, like it's funny how music brings people together, right?
Yup.
It really does.
That's pretty cool.
And like
And yeah, I would have loved to go to that show.
you and I know each other from the music scene, kind of. You know, like a lot of the people we both
Yeah, we
know
have
is
a lot of
because
mutuals.
yeah, and like you know my other best friend, she's also from Laos. You know, and like you know I love that you're also from Laos because there's not that many people I know that are from there. You know, so I feel like y'all are definitely unicorns. And when I see y'all putting in work and representing, I'm like hell yeah. You know, I think like I only know three people from Laos. You two personally, and then that one guy from that band Speed from Australia, he's also from Laos. I don't know him personally, but I
Hmm.
also see like I think his shirt said like Laos or something. I was like respect, you know.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, so shout out to hardcore, shout out to our music scene. Like I definitely it's introduced
seriously.
me to like a lot of dope people, you know. Um, so yeah, like what bands have you been listening to lately? I know you want to see Cold World maybe this month.
Yeah, so I have tickets to Cold World. Me and my friend Jess were gonna go. We're still thinking about it, but it's so scary with like the Omicron variant, and
Mm-hmm.
like again, we can be as safe as possible, but you can still not have show symptoms and still have it, and that's scary. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I'm also a procrastinator, so
Yeah.
I'll probably know towards like the end of the month. But I was also planning to go to Cleveland too for All Star Weekend. We
Ooh.
don't know if that's going to happen. I'll probably decide last minute. What I've been listening to lately is probably a lot of Pantera and Typo Negative. Um, there's just one guy at work that he really aged himself today, but he was like, "Yeah, back in the '90s, I saw Typo so many times," and like he would talk about all these shows that he went to, and I'm just sitting there like, "Oh my God, you lucky son of a bitch." But because of him, I've definitely been like tapping into that realm a lot more,
Mm-hmm.
and also because like this, I don't know if you noticed on my Instagram, but I've been doing like um an exploration with metal band logos.
Yeah, we talked about that. You're trying to like learn them. They're so hard.
Okay, so Pierce posted a picture of a flyer of a show that he was going to over the weekend, and at the end of the flyer was like the opening band, but it looked like a pile of twigs. Right, it just looked like this, and I saved that, and I was like, who is that? He's like, I don't know, but I guess I'll find out. And it really like kicked the gears in my head, and my light bulb went off, and I was like, maybe this is an industry that I need to tap into. Maybe this is a moneymaker. I don't know. But me, like, the thing I love most about graphic design is typography, because I've always been obsessed with letters and like the way they look and how they can, influence a design. So naturally I was like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. My question is, why do illegible logos succeed? And why is it so appealing? So I, fortunately, using my kinesiology skills, I found a research paper. My first research paper I've read since like 2015. And it had a whole explanation of like this designer that got with a bunch of metal heads, and they examined like more than 5,000 logos or something, and they were able to categorize them by like black metal, sludge metal, thrash metal, or like neo metal, or like all the different categories, and it blew my mind. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try my hand at this. I love hand lettering. I love copying letters. So I've been spending my time tapping into that realm where the rest of the world is tapping into NFTs. I'm trying to make illegible band logos. So I would love to be able to do that at some point. Like, how badass would it be to be like, yeah, I make graphics for kids' t-shirts at Nike, but on the side, I make really dark, scary metal logos. Coming from a little Asian girl, me,
It's unexpected. People don't expect it.
that's what's cool.
I like that.
So yeah, that's what I've been into. It's like tapping into that metal realm and trying to like learn more of like the emotional part, so I can understand why certain logos look the way they do, because there is that whole like emotional connection between the way people's logos look and what their whole culture is about, right? So
It's like,
it's been wild.
I just
like
Freaking wild.
for me, I feel like it's your Bruce Wayne versus your Batman. It's like you have your like clean cut, like what you do for your job, and then at night you
Yes.
go out and
And
just
you have this dark side.
this dark side of you.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh, it's so funny because like normies, right? They wouldn't know that I listen to hardcore punk metal, all that stuff, until I mention it, or like until they get into my car and they're like, whoa, this little person, that looks like nice. All of a sudden you have this dark side, it has been like that my whole life. Even in high school, like when I first got my license in a car, and like in the parking lot you're trying to get out and everybody blasts their music, and you're like, oh, Lorenzo listens to rap, oh, Ashley listens to like Britney Spears, and then they're like, oh shit, like Karen listens to this. And I'm like, heck yeah, I
do. See, that's what I love. Like when I see females like at hardcore shows. Well, okay, let me take that back. When I see females at hardcore shows, just freaking shitting on fools and pitting on them and kicking fools in the head. So like basically mosh pits, for all you guys that are like normies and stuff, like the people that are normies are people that just don't go to shows, basically,
don't understand the lifestyle.
They're not in this like hardcore
right
/ punk community subculture.
Right. So I think like I've been loving seeing like a lot of females in all these male dominated industries, I mean, I wouldn't call like hardcore an industry, but I would say like it's just like a music scene and stuff. So seeing like Scowl's like getting a lot of recognition,
Yes, absolutely. I freaking love that the singer is exactly who she is, and she's not dressing herself to fit into what everybody else is wearing with like a band t-shirt
Mm-hmm.
and like black pants, you know?
Yeah.
She is girly as fuck. I have never talked to her. I only see her in videos, but shout out to her for like sticking to what her true style is and showing that. It's awesome.
Yeah, her name's Kat. I agree. You know, I love that. You know, at every show you see her, you know, wearing dresses and stuff, but she's got like hard vocals. Like her vocals are freaking hard as
Mhm.
fuck. You know, so yeah, so that's dope. But no, that's cool. Like I love that. You know, you're also in the same music scene, and you know,
Oh
people you take people by surprise. They're like, oh, what the heck? You like
yeah.
this music?
Mhm.
Oh, you're a sneakerhead.
Yeah.
You do all these things. Actually, I
Mhm.
have another question. You brought it up right now. So Nike's getting into NFTs. I don't know if you know anything about that. Obviously, you can't talk about it. But what do you, in general, as a designer and an illustrator, like, what do you think about NFTs? Because personally, like, I haven't talked to any actual designers that love NFTs, that listen to that, like, have sold NFTs and shit like that. So, like, you know, you as a designer and an illustrator, like, what's your take on it? Because yeah, I'll like add my 2 cents later, but I want to hear your 2 cents. You know.
Um, I think it's really cool. I really do. I mean, my brain turns to mush when I think about it because I don't understand NFT culture.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I give major props to those that are making them and making a ton of money off of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's like the next next best thing for an artist to grow and like make that money and also have the ability to keep making money off of these things as they get resold to other people, right?
Yeah.
Um, I think it's awesome. I can't even handle real American dollars, so I don't think I would be dipping into crypto because I don't understand it. But I mean, it would be cool. Um, but it's definitely changing the world. It is kind the only thing I don't like about it is that, you know, to make all of these things, we need computers. And then to buy and sell, we need cryptocurrency,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm.
To mine for cryptocurrency, you need a ton of computers.
Mhm.
And aren't we trying to save the planet?
It's an environmental like
It's a huge
hazard.
environment. Exactly. It's a huge environmental hazard and issue. And I have, I mean, I know it's going to be around for a long time, but it's really sad.
I think
And I wonder if there's a way to work around that, but there probably isn't.
yeah. Um, I don't know. I think like with NFTs, I'm not touching on the environment part because like I'm not like I don't like talking about things I don't really know of. Like, and I know you know that's been a thing lately. You know, like Elon Musk saying like the whole Dogecoin, oh, less uses less than Bitcoin, whatever. You know, all that crap. But with NFTs, I feel like it's like a double edged sword in my opinion. You know, because I don't feel like it's tailored to like it's not friendly for anyone to get into. You know what I mean? A lot of NFTs that I've seen lately, they're expensive. You know, they're not cheap. Obviously, they're like one of one, but still, I feel like it's more like for wealthier people. You know, people.
Hmm.
And at the same time, I think like it depends on what you're getting it for. You know what I mean? If you're
Yeah.
buying an NFT because you love the art, okay, I get that, you know. But if you're a lot of people are buying NFTs to flip them and make more money off of them. And I think that's where it's like a double-edged sword because then it leads to like manipulation in the market. You know, you see like a lot of
Hmm.
these rappers buying like all these bored apes. I'll call them bored apes. So that's what they're like. They mostly buy, and these are going for like more than 200K plus. You know what I mean? And they're driving up the prices of certain things, and it's just I feel that people need to be careful for that stuff. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But in my personal opinion, I haven't seen a NFT that I'm like that shit is tight. You know, I want to buy that. Like most of them that I've seen, I mean, it's just everyone's different. But I haven't seen one that I'm like, dude, I want to buy that like right now. You know what I mean? But I think it's cool. Like it's a different way for artists to monetize what they're doing. You know, like you, if you did like unique stuff, or you do unique stuff, if you wanted to make NFTs, it's a way for you to monetize it too. But yeah, so I think it's interesting. I'm excited to see what the future holds, and a lot of different brands are hopping on the trend. You know, Nike, we just touched on it. Nike, you have Adidas, and then actually I just posted it in the chat. But Bape just announced that they're coming out with a collection, so I'm like, Bape. I like Bape, so like,
So
but
maybe,
yeah,
yeah. One person that I kind of like to learn about it from is seeing like Bobby Hundred's work on it and
yeah,
seeing what he gets to do with it for sure. I think it's incredible how the Hundreds has evolved into like this whole metaverse thing and what they're doing with NFTs for sure. But he's probably the only person that is tolerable listening to and learning from. But I feel like someone like that and what they're doing kind of gives you hope of like, oh shoot, like anybody can really make this, and kind of seeing like the community that he's like harbored on Twitter, pretty cool too.
you think?
But still,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
but it's still not enough for me to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna sell NFTs or buy something or be a part of this group, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, do you think we'll see you doing NFTs in the future? Like, maybe the distant future, you know?
I think it would be really cool to get into. I just know that it takes a lot of money to probably
Yeah.
like get something like that going. So I would definitely wait until I have a couple to play around with and toss around with for something like that. But
I
I
mean,
don't
like,
know.
you personally, like, come out with some.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Um,
like, don't you have to pay a certain amount of money to like mint your artwork and stuff and like get it out there?
Um, I don't think so. I think
yeah.
on OpenSea, you just upload whatever you want as an NFT. As long as it's on the blockchain and you own it, you can set the price. You set the price first, and then people buy and trade as it is. I don't think you necessarily need like any over like overt fees to like start it up. You just need the images. Like
Oh,
that's what most people need is the images. Someone to
yeah.
illustrate the images and they have the bigger picture. But if you have images, just put them on OpenSea as long as they're on the blockchain.
Dang, I got so many images.
There you go. See?
I wonder how much money I can make. I don't know. I don't have time. Come on. Let me get my black badge first and then I'll do it.
You could
There you
probably,
go.
I ain't gonna lie, like, you could probably look on Fiverr, shout out Fiverr, and have someone
Oh,
just do that for you, because, I
it's
don't know.
true.
There's, Fiverr has let me look at it. I'm actually, like, looking at the website right now. Oh, custom character NFT, NFTR, generate NFT.
And plus, like, I mean, from what I see on the internet, like, it's just those basic, like, 8-bit cartoons, right? And I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm not going to do that because everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
So it requires me sitting here thinking outside of the box to see, okay, who's going to spend $500,000 on this one little JPEG that I have? That's what I want to do, is not what everybody else is doing. Like, good for them that it works and it makes them money, but I want to do something totally different that's going to make me more money, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, nah,
So
I agree.
that would definitely take a long time to figure out something different than everybody else is doing. Don't know what it would be.
I don't
Maybe
know.
I'll learn 3D.
I'm excited. I think
Yeah.
Mhm.
we definitely we're living in a disruptive society, you know, where us people, we're the innovators and we're the disruptors, and you know, we're kind of changing the way that things are. I mean, in terms of investing, like, I'm sure you guys already saw the whole, like, GameStop thing, the whole, what was the other one called, the theater AMC, you know,
Mhm.
that was like all the younger people, all like disrupting that, you know what I mean, changing the way that trading
Mhm.
is working. And it's super interesting. I'm just like fascinated at how, you know, how much power we actually have as people, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
The people on
literally,
the internet,
exactly, you know,
people on social media mostly. Yeah.
facts.
It's crazy.
So it's a double-edged sword, like I've been saying about a lot of things. But you know, it's just crazy to know how much impact people have and how much power we have to change things, you know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, we're going on 2 hours. It's getting a little late. I mean, I'm down to keep talking, but
Let's wrap it up.
let's wrap it up, Dean.
Yeah,
um,
dude.
anyone have questions from
Dude,
the?
homeboy's yawning over
I
here.
know. Wake the
I'm
fuck
gonna,
I,
up,
I'm
I
gonna
Twix.
yawn. I'm gonna
I
yawn
I had a busy
too.
day. I literally rushed in here. I was like,
You don't think Karen
Yeah,
had a busy
see,
day or what?
yeah,
I
well,
didn't have a busy day.
Karen, hello. You're supposed to
I,
back me up.
I'm just
I did.
yawning. I was over here
I'm,
hitting 100
I'm,
miles an hour.
I'm being real, dude. I didn't have a busy day, but I had a draining day.
Okay,
Hmm.
that
Just
we're
thinking about things.
stressing out about the podcast. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, dude. I was like, I'm a bird. What am I
um,
gonna wear?
not the what am I gonna wear? I just
I
wanna
literally, I went into my closet and just grabbed a shirt.
whatever. What shirt is it? What are you wearing?
The battery shirt.
Hey, that's hard. It's tie dye. Let's go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, hey yo, chat. If you guys have any questions for our lovely guest Karen, please feel free to ask them. Please check out her socials. What's up,
Mm-hmm.
Pesto? How you doing, King? You know, if you guys want to see a great LinkedIn, Karen's LinkedIn is fire. You know,
Dude, I'm down to connect with people anywhere. If people need help with something, I might know something. I don't know what I know, but I know something
you,
about something.
you
But
know a
I
lot
love
of things.
connecting with people. I love connecting with people on LinkedIn, so hit me up.
Mhm.
So Tron, my friend Tron, shout out Tron. He's also a sneakerhead. He actually did one of the sneaker reviews. He did a sneaker review with me. Let me post it on here. We're actually gonna be linking up and doing more. But he asked, let's see, he asked, what has been the best experience so far working for Nike?
Best experience is probably all the connections and relationships I've harbored and made from it. I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of people that support me, that really enjoy my art, that are cheering me on and have my back. And I've made some really good friends from getting to know people there. Like it really is like yesterday I was talking to my friend about it. I was like, I don't want to leave this place. And it's not because I want this one freaking black badge. It's not because I want to work there. It's because of the people, like the culture and the people that work there.
Yeah.
It matches up with who I am and my morals and values. And there's so many people, and I've been able to make a lot of good friends. I'm really blessed with that. So
Uh,
yeah, so
There you go,
far
Tron.
people.
And then second question, what is your favorite sneaker?
My favorite sneaker is the Air Max One,
Wait,
best style.
you kind of broke up when you said that. Could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Oh no, sorry. I would say the Air Max One. That is my favorite silhouette, and you can't go wrong with the original red color. It's a good staple.
You're talking about the classic one, the classic red one.
Yeah, the classic red one.
Hey, that one's fire.
Hmm.
Let's see.
Yep, my favorite one.
Any other questions, y'all? Let's see. See, I'm just typing because people be like lurking and stuff, you know. But now this was super dope. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are definitely gonna benefit from your interview. I'm a big advocate for LinkedIn. You know, I always tell people like, dude, if you want to learn something new, LinkedIn is the way. You know, because you don't need to go to school to learn stuff. You know, you could just
We
like
got YouTube.
you got YouTube, you got LinkedIn. I mean, here I'll personally put it out there. I'm trying to learn like video editing. I'm trying to learn photo editing. Like that's a hard skill that I'm trying to get better. I've been watching like YouTube videos and stuff like that. It's definitely hard. It's not easy, but the resources there, you know. And if people stop being lazy, aka me, we could definitely learn any skill we set our mind to, you know.
Hmm.
Um, Tweaks, you got any questions for Karen?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything. I I enjoyed the conversation, learning all the LinkedIn secrets, learning uh
Yeah, dude.
learning that
Have
it's not about who you know, or it's not about what you know. It's about who you know.
about who you know. It really is. And
That's half the
thank
game.
you for listening. Thank you for
Yeah.
listening. Thank you for having me on. And I would love to keep spreading my story. So thanks for the opportunity to let me do that here. Because I don't know, there's no time to like hate life and hate people. Root for each other, and I only hope to inspire and empower people and help motivate them, because then in turn it helps me too and
Mm-hmm.
creates a better world.
Facts.
Exactly.
And Gary, this is like a thing on Twitch that like I don't know how familiar you are with Twitch and stuff, but on here, like, there's a lot of us that kind of exactly what you're talking about. I've met a lot of people through here that we just support each other. We're all like my boy JDZ. He doesn't like I've been trying to pay him, and he doesn't charge me to help make like YouTube videos, and I'm just like, dude, it's crazy to have people like that, that just want to help. You know what I mean? Just because they see your vision and they're inspired by you. And then my boy Tron too, he's came out and like bidding these videos, and I just all these people that the hype me up on YouTube, on stream, whatever. My boy Pesto, same thing. Like, I was nervous to have like the first podcast episode, and he was like, hey, he's gonna do great, whatever. And then Tweaks, of course. I've known him for real life, but exactly what you say. We gotta help each other, root for each other. And yeah, I think lastly, do you got any other questions, Tweaks?
No, I'm good.
I think lastly, like, we talked about this, but we ask all our guests like top 5 things. So what are like top 5 things for you? Like, okay, so in terms of top 5, I guess it's like it depends on the category that you want. So I would ask you like, what are your top 5 sneakers? But it could be what you want. So if it's like top 5 designers,
Oh,
top 5 creators, top 5 people that make sneakers, stuff like that. So do you have a top 5 that you want to share with us?
I don't know what I would categorize it as. I guess top 5 like Instagram accounts.
Mm-hmm.
These are a collective of people that inspire me. They're a group of people that I'm friends with. They're a group of people that are talented and creative, and I feel like the world needs to see more of them, just because of like the good people that they are. So
Yeah.
why not root for them,
Mm-hmm.
The first person I was one of my really good friends that I've gotten to know over the last year is Andy Dutton. His Instagram handle is AD and then 2_sneaks. He's a middle school teacher in Utah, and what he does is take photos of his shoes. Honestly, that's all he does. And like, apart from being a teacher, he's also a high school basketball coach. He's a dad, he's a husband, and he freaking loves sneakers like we do.
Mm-hmm.
And he's I think he started off like just trying to get better at photography. And I remember, and we've talked about this many times, like, I remember following him when he had like 300 followers or something, and now he's blown up to like 14K or something. And I personally believe it's because like he is his true self. He's authentic, and he is really talented at what he does. And what he his photography and like his videos, like his reels and stuff, like, they're different from what you would see in like typical sneaker accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Andy Dutton. He is awesome. He's a great human being, and he's super friendly. So if you follow him, like, send him a message. He's really cool to talk to. The other person, my
Got
next
4 more.
I've got 4 more.
Yeah,
Okay,
I love this though. I love this. Like,
listen, I'm trying to hype up my homies, dude.
that's
Okay,
what
so
we love that.
my second person, and mind you, well, I don't think I've met any of these people in my list.
That's the
I'm making it
beautiful
up as I
part,
go.
you know.
Okay, my second person is Brian Madden. He's actually in San Francisco. He's a sculptor, I guess. He works with marble. So his Instagram handle is Brian B. Madden. Yes, so he has a studio in San Francisco. He's made a lot of really cool sculptures for
How do you spell
like he has,
Brian? Is it BRI?
yeah, Brian. Brian B. Madden, and he's in the city and he works with a lot of marble and he's pretty sneaker centric. He is really talented and works on different things that you wouldn't see, I guess, in terms of like sneaker art, because he's definitely carved. I followed him because I saw a carving of marble of like an Air Max 90 sneaker, and I was like, holy shit, like that's really cool. And he's made a ton of other like sneaker centric things too. And he also used to live in Portland, so that's really cool.
Oh,
But yeah,
wow.
he's really good, and he made like a really cool bait table. Yeah, bait table. He has a little Kobe 8 thing. But I just love that he does this totally different thing that you wouldn't really see for like sneaker art.
Yeah.
My third person is, I feel like a lot of people probably know her just because she's pretty Instagram famous. I don't know. But her name is Anna Melissa, and she is such a sweet girl. She also is contracted with Nike.
How do you spell
But I
that
feel,
Instagram? I'm sorry.
oh, it's underscore ANNA Melissa. Anna Melissa. She's a copywriter for Nike. She's also contracted. I won't say anything else. She's really sweet. She's really funny. She's very transparent, and I know she's pretty big on Twitter, but she's just a very she's very inspiring because she is herself. And she is creative in that way of like she uses her words to try to captivate the world, and she's doing a really killer job of it. Like she's had a couple of her things that she's done for Nike has popped up in huge billboards in like Times Square. And the art of putting words together is really hard. So the fact that she gets to be the person that comes up with these taglines, and not only that, like her personality like shines through it, and she does it so successfully. Like that's an art that I really admire, because I do believe, there is a lot of power in words and what you say, and she does a really good job of doing that. So shout out to Anissa. She's a very humble human being. She's really funny. Follow her, and she's very relatable. So I feel like a lot of people would get a kick out of that.
I just peeped her Instagram. I love her aesthetic. It's dope.
Yes, exactly. She's really cool. She loves sneakers, of course. My next person, so my fourth person is a local here. His name is Kevin Concepts on Instagram. I guess he just decided to like make stuff that he wanted to see one day, and I would say he's very well known for like the wallets that he makes, because he'll make wallets with like the cement material and colorways on his wallets, and then he just started like customizing shoes. Actually, no, I think he's been doing that for a while now, but he has started to like build an actual shoe. So I'm really excited to see what he gets to do. He's been featured in sneakers a couple times. He's got a really big following because he knows how to market himself well. And I'm like, how the heck did I do that? But he's such a humble human being, and he is absolutely sweet. And what he makes is really cool, and I feel like he has like honed down his aesthetic and like his niche so well that when you see something that he would make, like you instantly think of him, like the Nike tissue boxes. I feel like that's when I started following him, was when I saw these Nike tissue boxes, and then like a lot of people do that, but I feel like he's I don't know what he casts for spells, but you just fall in love with what he makes, and I want one of his freaking wallets one day.
So he makes those out of real sneakers, huh?
Yeah,
That's insane.
I believe so.
That's hard.
And
I'm
he's
looking
really
at his
good.
page.
Yeah, he's really good at it, and I really want him to end up at Nike. Um, but yeah, he's local here. Like everybody knows him, and it's so funny because he like doesn't think he's a big deal. He is.
You know him
Um,
personally, or you don't
I've
know any of them, right? Personally, you said.
I'm like really good friends with Andy.
Mm.
I talk to Brian a lot. I really want to meet him. Like the next time I go to the city, I have never met Anna Melissa, but she is an absolute gem, and I know that I'm gonna hit her up if I'm ever in LA. Kevin, I have met, and is someone that I also keep in touch with regularly. He's really cool. And then the fifth person I would say is dang, I didn't think of a fifth person.
Don't say me. All right,
Shoot.
I'm not one.
I was gonna say me. Um,
You don't count.
shoot, yeah, I don't count.
Give me one
Oh,
more.
okay. Okay, one more I would say is oh, duh. Okay, so my friend Dom, I'm actually friends with the person, yes. My friend Dom, he has a clothing brand and it's called Feed the Soul. And it's all about like, you know, remembering to be mindful of yourself and take care of yourself and remembering like there are things that you should do that to like rejuvenate and refresh yourself. And that's where that whole concept of feed the soul comes from. And I really admire that he's trying to get that message out there and that it does revolve around mental health. And it's a great reminder to take that time for yourself. Like one of my classes that I had in school, my teacher would be like, oh, your homework is to remember to take 30 minutes out of your week to do something to feed your soul. So that was the first time I heard about it. And so when I heard that he had a brand revolving around that, it is something I totally back 100%. He makes all of his clothes, he makes all of his hoodies, does all the sewing himself, and all of the illustrations and graphic work. It's all him.
What's the brand again? I don't think you gave us the brand.
It's Feed the Soul.
Feed the Soul. Okay. Feed.
Yeah, and my friend Dom is behind it, and I just absolutely love the message he's trying to put out, and I think it's a great reminder to tell people like we don't remember, like we get so caught up in everyday life and like work, and you know it's even hard to like make time for friends and family sometimes, but also like what about yourself?
It's just
You
feed
take
the soul, right? Just feed
Yeah.
this. Okay. I like this. That it looks pretty sick.
But yeah, and I think that's also a great note to end off to is like don't forget to think about yourself. Don't forget to do something to feed your soul. What feeds your soul? It
Yeah.
could be like going to a museum for 30 minutes or laying in a bath for 30 minutes. I don't know. It was in it when my teacher brought it up in class, it was always an activity and concept that stuck with me because I was like, oh shoot, like I'm always worried about work. I'm a very career oriented, work busy person that I often forget like, oh, I should probably do something fun for myself this weekend. So yeah, don't forget to feed your soul.
There y'all go. There's some homework for y'all. Feed your soul.
Yeah.
And
Don't forget to take time for yourself.
Karen, thanks for those. Those are pretty dope pages. You know, I'll definitely check them out. We have more questions from the audience.
Oh shoot.
So my friend Snorlax, he actually just got into drawing. He just got a galaxy pad or something like that. I forgot what it's called. He's asking, Mexican Snorlax is asking, what is your favorite art medium, whether it be canvas, paper, or digital?
I definitely like digital. I mean, I mainly work in digital, obviously, but I will always prize like the tactical pen to paper, pencil to paper feel for sure. But digital is just so easy for what I do, so I go digital. I rely on my iPad for, you know, all of that. So if it ever cracks out on me, I'm like, oh, there goes my life. But hey, Apple sponsor me. But yeah, I I do digital. digital all the way. Procreate.
Mm-hmm.
He just said Snorlax just said Procreate too. Ah.
Yep. Yep.
Let's see. Okay, what more? Oh, by the way, my friend Dill Thrill, he said, "Is this the cool Karen that works on Nike?"
Yes.
Yes, this is
I
the
mean, I
cool.
hope I am. Do you know another cool Karen that works at Nike?
You're like probably
Shit.
like one of the only Karens I know. So
Oh, cool. Yeah.
you're cool. So Dill's asking, what are some goals for the next 5 years for Karen? Where would she like to be in 5 years? So I guess those are two questions.
Dude,
Damn, dude. Damn,
we're in the
Dill.
middle of a pandemic. You think I have time? You think I really have time to worry about the next 5 years when I don't know if I'm gonna wake up tomorrow because Omicron is raging all over us? In the next 5 years, I still would like to be in Oregon. I really hope that I am like a full-time employee at Nike, thriving as a graphic designer. I hope by that time, with the speed that I'm going right now, that I'll have a couple roles under my belt in 5 years, or maybe at least like two graphic design roles, because that'd be really cool, and hopefully be on my way up to something like a creative director role or something at Nike. I'm 31, so I'll be 36 in 5 years. I hope that by then I'll be financially stable, that I will, I mean, it would be a dream to own a home or a condo at least, but who knows what's going to happen. What else? I don't know. I'm pretty content. I like where I'm at, and I can only hope for myself that I'll be in a really good job that I really enjoy doing and getting paid my 6 figures.
Payer. Let's see. What else? Karen, when did you once again Mexican Sorlax is asking another question. Karen, when did you realize you could voice your artistic mindset through streetwear, specifically clothing and shoes?
What?
Oh, when did you realize you could voice your artistic mindset through streetwear, specifically clothing and shoes? So basically, like,
Yeah.
all right,
Can you
Sorlax.
dumb that down?
Yeah, Sorlax, you don't have to be all freaking Einstein E equals MC squared. Just kidding.
Yeah,
So,
I'm like, holy shit, what does this mean?
nah, basically what Sorlax is saying is, when did you realize you could express yourself artistically through streetwear? So when did you realize your skills, you could kind of make like shoes and basically stuff like that,
Yeah, I mean, so my Instagram started off as a hand lettering Instagram, and I was all about hand lettering, calligraphy, and like the work I was doing at my last job, which was a lot of sign work, chalk signage. And then I got bored of it, which I get bored a lot. Thus why I'm doing this whole research thing on the art and design of metal band logos,
and
right?
this podcast, right?
Because I'm bored of because I'm bored of drawing shoes right now, and I need something new to like rile me up. But I started drawing shoes because I was like, I want to work for Nike. What do I do? And I was like, I'm artistic. Why don't I draw something that'll captivate the Nike audience? And I was like, okay, what do I draw though? And I was like, well, I like shoes, so why not draw shoes? And then I started getting inspired by artists, and then I was like, okay, everybody's doing this one specific style. How do I separate myself from those basic vector illustrations and make mine different? And so it took me a long time to figure out my style. But basically, I started drawing shoes because I was like, I want a job at Nike. How do I get in? How do I show that? I like shoes, so I draw shoes.
There you go,
To be
Snorlax.
honest.
Dill said that is awesome. Thanks at Cool Karen 31. I hope you get all the beautiful things in life. Not Cool Karen. That's a cool name, Karen. You should make that your dude. I think Dill's onto something. Cool Karen. I like that.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna go change my Instagram handle now.
Cool Karen.
Cool, Karen.
How are they gonna hire me with that name?
Let's see. I have a question. You know, I guess this is like for everyone right now that, you know, I feel like, you know, me personally too, sometimes, you know, we all doubt ourselves. We're like, oh, like, you know, am I doing the right thing? You know, for me, like, you know, I do my own thing, but I'm also like a content creator. Sometimes I'll make videos and then I'll stream on Twitch and then, well, this podcast is new, but, you know, how have you overcame self-doubt and kind of just been like, you know, I feel like we all have those moments where we're looking down on ourselves and we're just like, fuck, like, is this what I need to be doing? You know, and then we just give up. And a lot of people do end up giving up. So how have you like stayed strong and maintained that mindset and, you know, just been strong and been like, nah, I'm gonna do this. You know, I ain't no bitch, you know, type shit.
First off, I'm in therapy. Second, I'm on medication. So that helps. That combo helps. But also, I think it goes back to the whole like spiel about, you know, when I'm dying in my 80s or 90s, I don't want to have regrets about what I didn't do. And and there are things that I could have done, you know, because those are things you can control. I don't give up because what else am I going to do if I give up? I have to think of something else to do. And then what is that thing going to be? I don't know. And I feel like once you're in, keep going. And the self-doubt part, like, man, that's a rough one to navigate for sure. It's definitely hard, but I always say, like, find the thing that lights the fire under your ass. And there's so much more than just getting a job title for me. It's like, I want to show myself that I can do this and that I can be successful with this path, having a totally different background. And then also, like, I want to be able to help my family out. My parents paid for everything growing up. I want to be able to pay them back. I want to be able to make that money, my freaking 6-figure money, so that I can help them because they've helped me my whole life. I want to help them retire. I want to pay them back for everything that they've given me, you know? And I also have a little sister, and she is graduating college, and I want to be able to spoil her. I want to be able to spoil my cat, and myself, but I want to be able to show my sister that if she works hard, doesn't give up, and finds the thing that motivates her, that she can get it too. But also, she's the child prodigy, and she always like gets things, so she doesn't have to worry about that. She's gonna get a job and whatever she gets. But you know, like being the older sister, and it's just us two. Like I want to be able to set that example. And I'm the oldest of like my mom's side of the family, like all of our cousins and the grandchildren, you know. So I want to be able to set that example for my younger cousins. So I don't want to give up. I want to be successful for them and show them they can do it.
I just want to be successful.
I just want to do shit. I want to be cool. I want to get rid of the Karen stereotype and stigma.
I'm telling you, dude, Dill has Karen. A point. Cool Karen, I like that. Cool Karen, I'm dead.
Yo. Don't give up, because if you give up, you're a puny little loser.
Pretty much.
And I don't know how else to say this, but there are people out there that will call you pussy. That's not nice.
That's not...
Just don't be a bitch.
Yeah, don't be a bitch. Yeah.
That's all it comes down to. If you're... Well, I mean, I guess people would quit for certain circumstances that could be very... that are understandable, but I mean, if you're quitting because you're a little bitch, no excuse.
That's right, Karen. Oh my god. Yo, Well, we'll end it with that, Karen. It's getting late. I know your ass needs to go to bed. You know, you got your sleepy time.
Yeah, I'm freaking old.
Stop.
I need to get my nightgown.
Not the nightgown.
My mouth guard.
Yo, by the way, make sure to check out Karen on her socials. You know, check out her Twitter, check out her Instagram, check out her LinkedIn. You know, if you guys, LinkedIn is definitely an important platform. Like we talked about, you definitely could talk to, people in your favorite companies about certain things on there. I like when I posted that Razor mask music video. Music video. I posted that Razor mask video. I tagged the CEO and he liked my post. I was like, oh my god. But yeah,
you never know who you can reach on LinkedIn. They'll see it.
Fact. So connect with Karen. She gonna make it big. And yeah, check your socials out. These are our socials.
I'll make a little story post of all the accounts that I shouted out to.
Yeah, well, we're gonna make you like an infographic actually. So
okay, cool.
It's gonna have like we'll figure it out. It's gonna have like a little infographic, and it's gonna say like Karen's like we do like a top 5 thing. We're also making one for our previous guests, like top 5 Instagram accounts to follow, and then we'll tag them. And yeah, so that's one thing we're working on. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. We're gonna raid out. So let's see. Do you have anyone we can raid? Tweaks or what?
No. I haven't. I've been listening to the conversation. I didn't want to have my attention be deferred.
God, you're human.
I mean,
my God.
I didn't want to deter my attention. That's rude.
Considerate.
That's true. Rude. That's facts. Tweaks. Hey, I'm glad you're a gentleman, bro.
She had a lot of information that is valuable to me, so I'm like, I gotta listen.
Tweaks
that's all I wanted, to at least one person be like, yo, I got something out of that. I feel inspired. That's good enough for me.
You inspired Tweaks' ass, straight up. Tweaks is like over here like, damn, I'm gonna get my shit together.
Oh my God, yeah. If I can have that impact on people to say I'm gonna get my shit together, heck yes.
Let me ask. You usually ask like our guests like who we want to raid. Do you want to do someone? Do you want to raid someone playing Apex Legends? Do you want to raid someone playing Valorant or Fortnite? You're like, what is that?
I'm like, the only game I know of is Fortnite.
Okay. Do you want to raid a guy or a girl?
A guy.
A guy. Damn.
Wait, what does this even mean?
Oh, okay, so basically when we raid out, it's like we're sending like all the audience we had here elsewhere. It's like that meme where like Patrick's pushing the rock. He's like, why don't we take the city and put it over there?
Got it. Okay.
So yeah. Let me see.
Are you joining this person or are you trying to like...
No, it's just basically like guiding your audience to like someone that you want to support and be like,
yeah.
And be like, here's all this people.
Yeah, go support a fellow homeboy.
You want to raid Valorant or Apex or Fortnite?
Tweaks. Go to Fortnite.
Fortnite? Damn, I only have...
Fortnite.
I only have one person doing Fortnite. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Oh, crap.
I would only want to get into video games so I can talk shit to people.
It's the best.
Oh, wait.
Trust me.
That's what I hear. And I'm like, that sounds fun, but I don't know anything about anything.
You know, a lot.
Yeah. It's just another avenue that you'll get into.
I'm like, as long as, if I suck, can I still yell at people?
Yeah.
You know what, too, Karen? Like, one thing cool that you could do is, if you ever wanted to stream on Twitch, you could basically, like, stream you doing, like, what do you call it? Like, custom sneakers and stuff like that. Or your art.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
My friend Snorlax, he streams his art, and, my friend Sketch, her dude also streams art, so... Really, Twitch is for anyone, you know what I mean? You could literally do, like, anything you want on here. So, yeah, you could do whatever the heck you want, you know? It just really depends on...
figure that out.
Yeah, and we could definitely help with that, you know?
Heck yeah.
Let me see. I'm just gonna raid James.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Okay.
Just do it.
Yo, we're gonna raid our friend more Jameson. He's playing Valorant. Tell him aloha or oh. Anyway, love you guys. Thank you so much. Next week we're gonna be doing a Valentine's Day special. We're gonna have my friend Eliza Pizza on here. She's gonna be talking to us about dating, OnlyFans, streaming, stuff like that. Damn. Oh yeah.
I'm tuning in for that.
I'm gonna die. Oh my god. But love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Yo, Sniper, we're ending, fam. But thank you for stopping by. Love you guys so much. Bye.
Bye.
You want to say anything, Tweaks, or what before I rate out? Karen, anything?
Bye.
Bye. Oh my god. Bye. Good night. Mwah.
Bye.
Yo, Karen, I don't want to say anything, but your camera, it was like, what do you call it?
Is it lagging?
It was like fuzzy. I think it was because your internet, but it's cool. I didn't say anything. I was just gonna be like,
nothing in life is perfect, okay?
Yeah, bro.
You're perfect. Jeez,
stop being so judgmental, bro.
Didn't you learn
sorry.
anything from Hannah Montana?
Who?
Hannah Montana.
Who's that?
Miley Cyrus.
You know who Hannah Montana is?
I'm just kidding. Tony
You
Montana.
must know who Hannah Montana is.
Yeah, Tony Montana. Oh my god.
That was fun though. That was cool. Thanks for having me on.
No, of course. Honestly, like, dude, I don't know. It was weird because this